are just too short to box with God. Hold one. Andre. Yes! From out of nowhere. Hold two. On Mars.
Who are you to doubt El Danny?
Still got 200 more. I got 200 more holds.
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic. This is 5 times the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah! G'day, this is Big Brody Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is the Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term kayfabe?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Game, I in the game, I'm champion, I'm Triple H. Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the chokes in my face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, tell like I'm muscle. If you suffer like tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the venue, best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm degenerate, I love it, yes, I love it. If you ain't down with that, then I got 2 words for you, suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, holding up the club. Let's be busy 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit. And you
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch. It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Hello and welcome to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. My name is Lachlan Albert, and I am joined here tonight by the entire team. That's right, everyone. We've got Todd Eastman. Todd, how you doing, mate?
I am very good, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We're also joined by Jeff Setti. Jeff, how goes it?
It goes one foot in front of the other and very, very nicely. How are you, Lock Dog?
That's exactly the way to do it, Jeff. And I'm always good when I get to be joined by the man, Jamie Apps. Jamie, how you doing, brother?
I'm sleepy.
It is... Look, it's getting to that time. It's getting to 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on a Thursday night here at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia, which is when and where we go live once a week to talk about what's going on around the world of wrestling. That means we talk about all of the news from overseas. We talk about an Aussie show that we liked this week. We talk about, some shows coming up, and we also have a chat about what the big boys look like they'll be doing in Australia over the coming year or so, because we've got a lot of this, international focus coming into Australia at the moment. So we're going to get to RCW Heavy as the Crown, which, just quickly, is free on YouTube. We'll talk about that in a moment. Jeff, did you have something to throw there?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Lachlan. Just a reminder, speaking of the big boys, WrestleBrania has a season, a monthly show through till the end of the year. Get your tickets on OzTix now, or I'm sure there'll be more on that later.
Yeah, well, look, speaking of getting tickets.
First show go? How did
really
go?
Well. Really well. Both the Musketeer and the man known as Jab bought the funny. We'll have some reels on our Facebook in the next week and on our Insta. So, and Matty Huss joined us on stage, and he was really good right here at WrestleBrania. There you go, man.
You really filling the jury there, getting Matt Huss into it. Hey,
got it. He said he hadn't been sober since Thursday night. Thanks to you.
Yeah, that tracks. I do say free on YouTube a lot. But yeah, look, speaking of tickets being on sale, AEW and WWE have been selling some tickets. Todd, do you have some updates for us about what these shows are looking like?
Well, Crown Jewel looks like it is absolutely gone. Gone, as they say. So if you wanted a ticket to Crown Jewel, you are fresh the fuck out of luck, as they say. Raw is still, I mean, the best price there is, was it $870 or...
Yeah, $827.
Yeah. SmackDown is about the same, so limited availability now in some of those places. And then we go to the AEW one dropped this week, was it? Was the first day sales for them?
Yep.
For general sales.
Yep.
Where are we on there? Yep, Saturday 14th. Still like lots of seating, but you can still get a fairly cheap one, I believe. I think all that's really gone. Yeah, the nosebleeds are the ones that are pretty much all gone at the moment. So you can still get everything down from that. Why you would want to go to reserve seating alcohol free, I have no idea, but you can if you want. Oh, you straight edge, are you there, James? Sorry, mate. I realised
That is exactly where I bought tickets.
Oh, is it? Of course you did. Brisbane ones, pretty much everything's still available there. So you can still get really good seats for the Brisbane show if you're in Brisbane. You still get really good seats in Sydney. They're just not, you can't just get the nosebleeds now. So still heaps of seats going around from there. So please support it because it means that they will come out more and we get to do more stuff, like more cool stuff and see international acts and also do the shoulder programming around it, like Dude, Where's My Ring and EPW will be doing in Perth.
Yeah, and we've got Tuesday Night Titans, I believe, for MCW when WWE's in Melbourne, and I believe they've just had a big announcement with a change of venue, right?
They've gone from the Thornbury Theatre down to the Melbourne Pavilion. So there's no excuse not to get a ticket. We know that's a magnificent facility. Lachlan will be there in all likelihood. I'll be there in all likelihood. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know the first match was announced today. Pretty much everyone just went, oh, that's going to be cool. So, yeah, don't miss out on your Tuesday night fight. You couldn't get more of an 80s WWE name either, could you?
Oh, unless you call it WrestlePalooza. Matty Huss have said, who are these people able to afford WWE prices and Perth travel and accommodation? Cost of living crisis must be over. Yeah, it's definitely not the cheapest thing if you want to get those big ticket seats as well as traveling over. But it's also nice. I
suspect there's a lot of credit card debt going on right now.
I also think that a lot of Perth people are taking advantage of not having to pay the accommodation and flights to get some nice seats. Macho Man Andy Savage in the chat saying, I was pleasantly surprised with AEW pricing. Booking with a disability was a bit rubbish, unfortunately. Yeah, it can be hit and miss in those situations, but the price is thankfully not too bad.
Here's the thing, like you can't, like, we can complain about the WWE prices, but you can't really complain. Yeah, but you can't really complain when they're selling. They're like, why are we dropping the prices? We're selling out. The people are paying the prices, so we're going to keep charging those prices. It's as simple as that. AEW have always been, we talked about it last week, I think. I don't know if this was on air or not, but Jamie and I talked about it at least. And we're like, that's one thing that AEW do better than WWE was, their pricing for their events are always really affordable. But that's because they want to get that loyal fan base going. And also the way that they deal with their social media partners. They're more... They focus more on the grassroots when it comes to that sort of thing. So, for us, it's really hard for us to get anything like WWE, interview-wise. Whereas with AEW, it's, for the most part, it's been pretty easy to do all that sort of stuff. So that stuff they're really, really good at.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it comes with the territory as well that when you see the AEW shows, they are still building that fan base in a way. Like, there are people who, when you've got a WWE, when you've got a name like John Cena over in Perth, there's a lot of I guess what I would call the not super enfranchised people, the people who are casual viewers, will go, if they're in the Perth area, I'll definitely go and see that. Whereas AEW are kind of aware that they are catering to a more niche audience in a way, or at least they're building that kind of familiarity with the brand, where WWE has the brand recognition. So I think it is a really clever strategy to make sure those prices are affordable, make sure that people can come along to see the show. Because, from everybody who went to Grand Slam, pretty much all of those people are saying, I'm excited to go again. Like, that's all I'm hearing from people.
Yeah. Well, that has never been the complaint about anything to do with AEW's product, is the actual in-ring stuff. It's always been,
and the live experience is always awesome.
Exactly. It's just the surrounding things that people have had a problem with, really. So, like the like we always say, like, the pay-per-views are always going to be awesome. It's just a given. It's going to be awesome.
The way I personally look at it is that AEW bell to bell is the better product, easily the better product, and that's reflected in their pay-per-views. The problem is sometimes in getting to those pay-per-views, the stories they're telling are not coherent. They're not always the story, also not always the stories that the fans want. And that reflects on what we're seeing directly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, I don't know if you agree, Jamie. I think I might have...
no, like the episode today of Dynamite was kind of just like, we're in like a bit of a holding pattern before we get to the pay-per-view. It's kind of...
Which is weird because they've got like 2 weeks to the pay-per-view and they've announced 3 matches.
Yep.
And do you know what I mean? It's like, wow.
And I think that's probably
it's
also
supposed to be one of their big pay-per-views of the year as well. All Out is supposed to be one of their big like benchmark shows.
Yep.
And it's also
direct competition now too, so it's like...
Yeah.
Exactly. It's also not like WWE where 3 weeks out, even if we haven't got matches confirmed, we can see like, well, these 2 people are clearly, building something here, and this looks like it's going in this direction, and this title's got this challenger. AEW seems to be a lot more, let's put on a bunch of cool matches, and then a week or 2 out from the show, they're like, and here's the people who are going to be facing.
Yeah, it was like I was thinking about it on the way home, right? Because it looks like, and we'll talk about it later in AEW, but it looks like they're leading up to Darby Allin versus Moxley, because Darby's like slowly going through the rest of
Death Riders.
What's his name? Death Riders. But I'm like, yeah, logically that makes sense. But for all we know,
2 weeks.
In a week, Tony could just go, "Well, just going to put on Dynamite."
Yep.
Because you just don't know. He could just go, "We'll put Moxley and him on Dynamite now."
And a lights out death match.
Yeah, that kind of feeds into why like the ticket sales for Grand Slam are maybe a bit slower as well. People are sort of going to wait a little bit to see who's on the show, what sort of direction are they going. Like it's still 5 or 6 months out.
Yeah, oodles of time for that.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate to state the obvious, but there's something that this build-up for AEW, I mean, is clearly missing, and that's a tournament. Like, the fact that we don't have a tournament to get a butts in seats, There is plenty of time.
There is a big one coming.
So
you're
closer, you live closer to him than we do. Could you go punch him for us, please?
The thing is, right, it's February, so a champion is bound to get injured or something before then, and they'll have to vacate the title and then do the tournament. So we got plenty of time.
Let's be honest.
And we've still got
Okada is held together by bubblegum prayer, unfortunately. So I imagine that United title will probably be up.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that sense, and there's always space for a new champion to be staking their claim, as there is over in Riot City Wrestling right now. With Heavy as the Crown 2025, the first title defense for Matt Hayter being the main event. But overall, a lot of show to kick up to that. Opening up, by the way, RCW Heavy as the Crown is free on YouTube. I know I mentioned it before, but you can head along to YouTube, type in Riot City Wrestling, watch this entire show for free. Not only that, you can hit subscribe on there and, just get basically every show they do for free in really high quality with awesome shows. I wonder if there's a podcast you can do something. Yes, Wrestle Radio Australia, same deal. Really high quality shows that you can subscribe for free on YouTube. Good stuff. But yeah, Heavy is the Crown. Extant. They exist. Heavy as the Crown opened up with a little bit of a rematch from the last Riot City show that we watched with SWAT, Katie Trey, and SWAT 1 with SWAT 2 taking on Party Hard, Banjo Powers, and Party Guy Ty. This was the main event of the last show we reviewed, of course, with SWAT 2 being part of that match and also having Hayley Hendricks on the side of Party Hard. But here, as a traditional 2-on-2 tag, Party Hard managed to get the win in about 13 minutes. And look, I think that opening a show with Banjo Powers, Party Guy Ty, and Katie Trey just feels like an easy win. These are guys who know how to control a crowd. They get the crowd reactions that they want every time without much effort because they're established characters. And I think this was a fun match where we can see that the guys under the SWAT masks are very clearly developing who they are as wrestlers. I'll pass to Jamie. What did you think of this opener, mate?
I really enjoyed this. I liked what we got to see out of SWAT 1. But yeah, ultimately it was a Party Hard showcase, and they did a great job of like proving why they are fan favorites. And I loved their new finisher, that Doomsday DDT. Fantastic. Keep that. Definitely keep that going forward. And I also loved that the two teams, like it's a pet peeve of mine when teams are similar gear. Not a problem in this match. They were the total opposite of each other, which was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff, what did you think of this tag match?
Oh, look, Katie Trey is one of those amazing workers who never needs to win. And he'll walk out and within 5 seconds, the crowd will forget he ever loses a match. He's believable in ring. His ability on the mic, he is so funny. Like, for someone like me who likes a shit-eating heel, there's few funnier in the country than Katie Trey. Big fan of his. And as you said, Jamie, I agree with you completely. The SWATs are both coming along in leaps and bounds. And, you know, Banjo Powers and Party Guy Ty, Party Hard, along with Hayley Hendricks, are really a nice little babyface force in RCW at the moment. I'm interested to see where they go and what they do.
Alex Fireheart in the chat saying, don't think I'd ever seen a team do a double drop down to trip someone before. So that was fun. I think sometimes it's nice when there's standards in wrestling to go back and play off why they exist, right? Like that's the drop down is to trip someone, to make them fall. And then when they started hopping over, they would come back with like a tackle. And so then you get the leapfrog. And that's been the development, except now you kind of see this standard, okay, drop down, go over, duck the leapfrog, go back, and that's just routine. Whereas it's nice to see people put in that this is why we're doing it to get results. And I really liked that in this match. And I think that both Party Hard and Katie Trey and SWAT are teams that make the wrestling feel important, and they go, this is why we're doing this for this result. And I think kind of that being able to tell the story clearly is an advantage that everyone in this match had. What did you think of the tag match?
Character forward teams to then also make the wrestling still important.
I just feel like, and I see it a lot, and it's something that I'm just getting over. I'm getting over seeing like the double heat. Like you do the heat, then come back, then cut off, then double heat. Like I'm kind of over seeing that. I don't know if it was just this match that really brought it out to me, but it was like something that stood out to me. And I also feel like in the last third, they kind of got lost a little bit. Whereas they could have went to that Doomsday DDT a lot earlier towards the end, like to finish that match. Like there was a lot of stuff in between that I felt was kind of like you didn't really need to be there when you got to move. When you got to move like they had in their arsenal ready to go, they didn't really need some other stuff in that last sort of third. Like the start of it was great. The double drop down I loved. I thought it was such a good, because it's hard to jump over two, guys. Easy to jump over one, hard to jump over two. A lot of this stuff was really good. A lot of it was really good. I love the fact that it seems that like Katie is starting to get really annoyed that the SWAT are screwing things up for him. Mm-hmm. So I like that little interplay as well. It was a really, really good opener. I just felt they got lost for a little bit and then found their way back right near the end. But the end was enough to have that crowd go, that was a really good match, because they saw a massive finisher.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex Firehart in the chat also saying, also, thank God the SWAT guy seemed to be okay after landing awkwardly on his head at one point off Arana. That could have ended badly. I think that, you know, at the end of the day, some of these guys are still a little bit green, and you can see the way that moves, which we just come to expect, do still take a lot of skill to do safely and effectively, right? Like Arana is a perfect example. It is so easy to stuff that move up, and we're very used to seeing it just go smoothly. So it goes to show just how good the standard has gotten. And that's true, you know, in the in-ring work, but also in the storytelling. Like, moving on here, we've got a match that really does focus on the storytelling, and that is the bitter old bastard Bob versus Kai Toa, with the stipulation that the loser enters at spot number 1 in the Riot City Rumble. And this match didn't end up going very long, because as much of Kai Toa was putting out an absolute house of fire, Bob had an ace in the hole in the form of Jimmy C coming in off commentary, slipping what I have to assume was a loaded boxing glove, because otherwise a boxing glove feels safer than just punching someone. Like, otherwise just hit the guy. So I got it.
Built him.
Yeah, it's got to be a loaded glove, right? But Jimmy C helping get the advantage to give Bob the victory here and put Kai Toa at spot number 1 in the Riot City Rumble match. A great spot for a babyface like Kai Toa. Jeff, what did you think of this quick one-on-one between Kai Toa and Bob?
Oh, look, I mean, I think the loser enters at spot 1 in the Riot City Rumble isn't really a bad thing, for the reason that we're going to get to see Kai Toa perform for the better part of an hour, and it's going to be really, really good. I like this match a lot. I think Jimmy C will be great as a heater for Bob. My problem is the glove. It's not a good outside interference weapon. I think brass knuckles, a belt buckle, like there's so much more that's visually more impactful than a boxing glove that clearly has a fair bit of padding on it. Nothing,
I'm pretty sure like Jimmy wears a studded belt. Take the studded belt off.
Yeah. Take the studded belt off, exactly. Like there's so much
boxing
more.
Glove kind of feels cartoony.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels.
You just pressed the button and the boxing glove came out. Ooh. That would have been awesome.
Jimmy C shows up in a red dress and lipstick to distract the opponent.
Holds up a sign that says "Rabbit."
Hello, big boy. Jimmy?
And then Bob holds up a sign that says Kai Toa season or something. Look, I think this is this was good. Like, what we got was good. But yeah, it was just that. It's just the cartoonishness of the boxing glove.
Yeah, Todd.
Yeah, no, fully agree. I like the fact that the match only went for like a couple of minutes, because I think there's more that these two can do, and it wasn't really like that show wasn't really the part for that to do it. If you know what I mean, like, and Bob being with Jimmy is great, because I think Jimmy covers up for the things that Bob lacks a little bit.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think that the Kai Toa and Bob story clearly isn't done. So keeping this short and having the end done through interference gives a lot of potential for further advancement in this story. Likely during the Riot City Rumble, I imagine, is where we're going to see more of this develop. Jamie, how did you like this business between Kai Toa and Bob?
Yeah, see, I looked at this less like a match and more like a promo segment. Like, it was more of a segment than a match for me. Like, it was, how can we get Kai Toa in at number 1 in a cheap way? And this was a nice way to do it, with the sort of just goes to do a couple of things and then just gets cut off at the knees straight away. So I'm glad like Alex said, I'm glad it didn't go like 6 or 7 minutes just for the sake of going 6 or 7 minutes. They just went, we're doing this spot anyway. Let's just bring it right to the start.
I also love that Bob's like Dan Seven cosplay.
Yeah, and I really like Alex's point there as well. It's like, if you are Jimmy C and you're going to interfere in this match, why let it go 9 minutes with a bunch of near falls? Get in there and help the guy win. Like, absolutely.
What's to say Kaitoa doesn't get a quick roll-up 3 minutes in?
Sometimes you have faith in your client.
Okay,
and you just,
all right.
You know they're going to dig it out.
Oh,
sure.
Your client is also Mitch Ryder.
Yeah.
Some people are more lucky than others.
Yeah, well. After that was my match of the night, because I thought this would be good, and then it was bloody incredible. This was a triple threat match with Kit, Red Smash 2, and Ben Braxton. Now, all of these names are exciting when I see them on paper. Kit, the former Kit Condor, great worker. He's really got the character down on top of doing some high-flying stuff. Red Smash 2 has been doing a bunch of like goofy comedy stuff on top of like an exciting high-flying arsenal. Ben Braxton is the guy at the moment, like in terms of what the next couple of years the next couple of years in wrestling are going to be Ben Braxton moving from these spots into the main event. And he's going to be a main eventer before the next couple of years are out. Like, he is the champion in UE Pro for a reason, right? And you put these guys together, and I went, okay, cool. Like, Kit's going to do the character stuff. Red Smash is going to do some babyface high flying, and then Ben Braxton's going to put an exclamation point on it. And then these three went out there and absolutely killed it with triple threat style moves that I had never seen before and couldn't even comprehend of. Red Smash looked like he almost died going off the top to the outside at one point. But like the fact that happened,
easily broke his leg on that.
That was
broke his leg on that.
Terrifying stuff. But then to go in and be doing moves where two people get in position for something and a third comes in and delivers a move which turns the move they were planning into something else, and now it's a destroyer, or like there was so many cool little interactions, and like the reversal of the game changer into Red Smash's. Like I loved this match. This match I thought was absolutely brilliant. I'll pass to Todd. What did you think of these three going at it?
Yeah, this was absolutely the sleeper match of the show. Absolutely. Because it was one of those ones where it's almost like they've said, okay, we've got Braxton coming in. We're going to put him with two guys that can jump around and fly, and they'll be able to do some cool stuff. And yeah, they'll put a good little 10 minutes on. But then they just went out and decided, okay, we're just going to do something that y'all are going to have a real hard time to follow. Mm-hmm. Because they did. That's what they did. Guys like Kit and Smash don't really get the chance to really show out on a lot of these shows, just because it's so packed with how thick the roster is. And they really did make names for themselves, I think. Because I know that everyone talks about Kaitoa breaking out into, like, he does a lot of stuff in Melbourne as well as, but like Kit and Smash, they are A1, A2 with Kaitoa, I think, in terms of potential when you look at that. Just coming off that match. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was, like you said, I thought it was the match of the night as well.
Yeah, Jeff?
Red Smash just isn't supposed to be this good this young. Like, he seems to have been on Academy shows a bunch of times and then done one or two main shows, and then he pulls this out. Kit Condor's been sort of away for a little while, so to come back with this match is amazing. And Ben Braxton's just getting it. Each match you see, he's getting better and better and better. He's going to be everywhere in a year or two. Like, absolutely everywhere. This was phenomenal. And, yeah, it was the match of the night, but none of, pretty much everything else was fucking great. So, you're picking a match of the night by millimeters. This was great. Like, the innovation and the clear fun they were having. and the nice little bit of sportsmanship at the end, you know, it all kind of put it in its place as a really unique match. I hope these guys go do something else again. I mean, they're probably going to be a part of the Rumble anyway, but yeah, just great.
Yeah, I hope Braxton's a regular return at RCW too, because there's so many good matches you can see, like potential matches, like him and like Dean Brady.
Oh, not just him and Dean, but him and Matt Basso.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like that's what I mean. Like there's so many
everyone
good matches,
on
like
that roster against Braxton. Yeah, like awesome.
Murderers Row matches that you can put him in, and they'll be friggin' great.
Matty Huss mentions they made so much of their 10 or so minutes. Just brilliant stuff. Alex Fireheart says, ridiculous as the Rana causing a destroyer to happen was upon reflection, I still had a big holy shit reaction in the moment. Alex Fireheart also says,
I had to rewind that. I had to rewind that going, what just happened?
Yeah. Alex Fireheart says, I feel like this match was a good example of like, I figured Braxton was winning, but that didn't impact my enjoyment of the match whatsoever. Absolutely. Like the I think this person's going to win is detached from enjoying the moves and the physical storytelling of this match. Jamie, what did you think of the triple threat between Kit, Red Smash 2, and Ben Braxton?
Watching this, it made me think these guys went back and watched AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe in Impact and TNA. They watched a lot of those 3 ways to get like inspiration, and it showed. And but last time we spoke about Braxton, we were talking about how he needs to add in the more character bits in between the moves, and I feel like he did that in this match. There was a lot more sort of posing, playing to the crowd, like obviously still room to do more, but there was a lot more of it, and I think he sort of introduced himself to the Adelaide crowd. And
that's what I'm saying. That's why I
think
he did it, because I think he feels comfortable in PWA. He feels comfortable in Newey, so they know who he is.
Yeah, he doesn't have
coming
to
out at RC. Yeah, coming out at RCW, I was like, okay, I got to do a little extra tonight because no one no one might know me here. Like internet nerds like us will all know who he is, but like the regular punter that goes to an RCW show probably wouldn't know who he is, except for like, hey, this big dude is in really good shape. So I'm gonna have to really show out. So then they get a chance to see who Ben Braxton is. And really, I feel like he should be doing that everywhere he goes, like PWA everywhere.
Yeah, he got across that like cocky big guy. Like, I'm gonna beat these 2 dudes no matter what they pull out. I'm better than them, and that's why they've flown me down for this show.
Like Alex Fireheart says, Braxton's reaction to Red Smash trying to do a rope walk arm drag being like, can you believe this shit? Was very funny. Yeah, this is one of those matches where for anybody who hasn't seen RCW Heavy as the Crown, which is free on YouTube, you need to see this match. Like, go out of your way for this match. Obviously, there is a ton of stuff that is really exciting on this show. And, like, I don't begrudge people who go, yeah, I'll throw on the Matt Hayter match that's in the main event, right? Like, that's totally good. But this is one of those matches where you go, there is a reason that a whole 2.5 hour show is on YouTube. And it's because matches like Braxton, Kit, and Red Smash 2 fill out these cards in such incredible ways. And this is the kind of match that you hope to see whenever you go to a show. Moving on to a match that I think was much slower paced, but benefited from a slower pace as well, was the Ashes Grand Final match between Hugh Beauty and James Cray. The winner of this, with the 2 men being 1-1 so far, the winner of this would win the series and become #1 contender for the RCW Emerald Crown. And in about 12 and a half minutes, Hugh Beauty managed to finally get that win and become the holder of the Ashes. I think it's fun to do an Ashes gimmick with Hugh Beauty versus an Englishman. That's just good stuff. I also think that Cray is exactly the kind of guy that you want Hugh Beauty going up against. Hugh Beauty he's got the character stuff down, but in terms of ring work, you know, he is a little greener than a lot of people on the card. You know, there's still some of those finesse points to put on, and Cray is a consummate professional in the ring. I love watching James Cray work. I love his style. He just nails everything and makes it look violent in a way that I really like. And so I think that when you've got someone like Hugh Beauty going, look, I can beat a guy like James Cray, it really establishes their character well. I also like that we got a Hugh Beauty match that, as much as it did the cricket jokes, it was not all that. There was a lot of wrestling here from Hugh, which I think is important going forward. As much as you want to have a little bit of the, get it, he's a cricketer named Hugh Beauty, there has to be a wrestling match to go with it, and there really, really was that here. Jeff, what did you think of this match?
I think, I've seen Hugh's work in Canberra, and it's been pretty solid. So he's been building quite the nice body of work. I enjoyed this as much as I could. In that, I think while we're seeing more wrestling from Hugh, sometimes the character actually almost gets in the way of itself. It's a good character, but I think it's a character that's easy for fans to hijack the match. And I think that could be a problem moving forward for him. I hope it's not. I hope fans kind of go, okay, we get it. But if you get the wrong crowd, they're just going to be going, how is he? How is he? It's just going to get drunken and irritating. And two of us in this conversation don't drink. So Jamie's the one who's agreeing most visibly. So I think that could be problematic. It didn't happen too much in this match, but it's just the thought that was in my head while I was watching it.
Yeah. Jamie, what did you think of James Cray and Hugh Beauty in their Ashes grand final?
Just following on from what Jeff said there with the character, it reminds me a lot of Captain Keto, who used to use that sort of very similar cricketer gimmick in rock and roll wrestling, and has since shifted to the Moses character because it was falling into that trap of the crowds were just kind of hijacking the shows, and he didn't really get to showcase what he had. So yeah, there is that problem with the Hugh character, but I think this match in itself kind of was, they were in a tough spot coming off that triple threat. Like,
they were
the worst spot to be on this card, but I think they did a good job, and I like that they went the total opposite route, slowed it down and went for the sort of power, just beat the living crap out of each other. And Hugh showed some power. I was shocked when Hugh hit the big scoop slam at the end. I was like, whoa, okay.
It looked good. It was a good scoop slam too.
Absolutely. Todd, what did you think of the Ashes grand final here?
I think Cray is really starting to emulate someone who he really liked, and that's Steve, like William Regal, like in ring. He's just that real, like, straight out smash mouth. Like, you're not going to get, like, you might get a couple of, like, technically, like, really nice stuff out of him, but it's like, it's not beautiful. It's like gritty. And I like that shit. I like, it's like, instead, he's not going to throw a punch. He'll throw a fucking uppercut, like a Euro. It looks like it rattles their teeth. You know what I mean? One of those sort of things. I really do enjoy that about his work. And it would be, I'm not saying it would be hard, but it would be a challenge to work with someone like Hugh when you're someone like James. Whereas Hugh's always going for that big spot to get the crowd going like that. Whereas like James's style is sort of like, I'm going to grab the guy, ground him to the ground and hold that down. Do you know what I mean? So I thought they worked really well. Alex was right. Alex, sorry, if you just want to read that. And then...
Yeah, Alex Fireheart saying, I really felt for them in the moment of that botched pin where the ref definitely counted 3, but they had to wave it off because it wasn't the finish. But I do give the crowd credit for the "that was 2" chant to play into it rather than shitting all over it like a wrestling crowd normally would.
Here's the thing, right? Yeah. I've always thought about this, and like, what is wrong with a ref hitting 3, but then saying, no, it was only 2, his shoulder got up, I just couldn't stop my hand hitting the mat. Like I think that is so much more realistic than sometimes you see those refs come and do the sweep.
And they're sweeping before the shoulders.
Yeah, you can tell that they were never going to count that 3. So
yeah,
I would rather have
from like up here.
Yeah, I would rather have the ref hit the mat the third time and go, no, it was 2, his shoulder was up, my arm couldn't get out of the way. Keep going. Like, I prefer that. I think that feels more realistic. Like, how many times have you, people that watch like sport, a referee will call something and said, just play on. Like, keep going, play on, didn't happen, sort of thing. Like, that to me is more realistic. And I think that some referees should maybe try doing that more. Or maybe we should try and integrate that into wrestling more, where a referee can hit 3. But because he saw the shoulder up, just because you saw the shoulder up doesn't mean you can stop. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to stop hitting something when it's really hard to fucking do.
I guess the counterpoint to that is, the wrestling crowd is so attuned to shit on that when it does happen. So it could easily just like ruin the whole vibe.
Yeah. And Roddy online in the chat saying it doesn't matter if the hand hits, right? Like, it's not the hand hitting the mat that counts 3. The ref is counting 3 and they are slapping the mat in time to that 3 count, right? It's a rhythm to determine whether or not the shoulder was up at time of impact.
Yes. So in like amateur wrestling, there's no 3, it's just 1.
Yep.
So, yeah. But I think they did really well. I like the... hell no, Matty.
No, Matt.
Matty.
No. No.
Matt Huss in the chat saying, get an NRL-style bunker on the go for video review.
7-minute matches will turn into 40-minute matches.
I'll 100% be out of a job.
Matty Huss, I have no idea what you're talking about, but for the sake of harmony with the rest of the crew, Matt, what are you talking about? Get out of here. There you go, boys.
As a stupid Mark kid, it always confused me why the most common stipulation that a babyface asked for wasn't backup referee. Someone to stand on the outside and let the referee know if there was cheating that they didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't babyfaces asking for that?
You remember Gorilla Monsoon always used to say that during tag matches? He used to be like, there's too many people on the outside. There's too many people for one referee to look after. You should be able to. There should be someone on the outside to control that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. But yeah, no, fully agree with that. And I think that Hugh Beauty going up against Sigma is going to be a great babyface heel dynamic for the Emerald Crown. And speaking for the Emerald Crown, there was an Emerald Crown match in this show, and it was the next match. But between the Ashes Grand Final and that Emerald Crown match, something we have to acknowledge is what's written in my rundown as CBTM promo ? Because there was a promo segment from Could Be the Move, Snacks and Vinny DiMaria, where the audio was completely garbled. And
it wasn't garbled.
That video file in particular was corrupted as all hell.
Yeah,
I've got to assume that was the case.
I've had my medicine, so what you said just made perfect fucking sense.
I assumed when this video started that it was, CBTM have recently turned heel. We're going to establish that heel turn with like a painful to watch promo. They're going to make the crowd not want to see them by being obnoxious in what they're filming. It went on too long for that to have been the case. It was genuinely unwatchable. I did
10
have
seconds
to
in, I'm like, oh, hang on.
No, it was too much. So hopefully that is, just an error that can be resolved in future and not CBTM trying to get heat by doing that. But I tell you what, if the next 3 seconds of the next promo start with that, it's going to be heat magnet for sure. But
it's one of those things where, like, for someone who does like for someone who does like video editing, like it happens sometimes. Like it happens sometimes when I do the ad break. I'll come back after getting a drink and realize that the ad's playing. I'm like, well, that's not how I started editing it. So that's just a thing that, and a rare, very, very rare misstep from RCW editors and production.
Yeah, RCW production's normally top of the line, so for that to happen,
it was probably fine
promo.
before they hit export too.
Yeah, it was just that one promo, because the promo that played straight after it was fine.
Yeah, so it must have been that one file got corrupted when they exported it from the video editing software.
And I think it speaks to the quality of RCW production that for about 30 seconds, I fully assumed that this must just be the most obnoxious promo work of CBTM's life, right? Because I'm like, well, they're really good at what they do, so this must be intentional. No. Couldn't have been.
Yeah, it's definitely a choice.
Yeah. Something else I want to quickly note just as we go into RCW Emerald Crown territory is that I noticed that they never refer to it as a championship or a title, and they never refer to the holder as the champion. They always refer to them as the Emerald Crown holder. And it's just really strange once you notice it, because it makes the way they talk about it that little bit more awkward. Which is really notable when there's such a good commentary team that as soon as something's a little bit awkward, it's noticeable. I just thought
almost
that was
like it should be an actual crown.
Yes. Like if it wasn't a belt, it would make more sense if they kept calling him the Emerald Crown holder.
I remember I used to have that same problem.
Sigma needs to wear it as a ring.
Sigma wearing it as a bracelet,
I used to have the same problem when I was doing commentary, when I first started doing commentary in RCW, with the Key to the City. Because you're so conditioned with Money in the Bank, saying they're going to cash in that Key to the City. No, you're going to unlock the Key to the City. You're like, yeah, okay. There's just stuff that you're just used to saying
tropes.
all the time. Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that's the same sort of thing. But I like the way that they've made it a distinction between the two.
Yes,
and I agree. I think you'd fall into that territory if it was a crown, like the old. Remember when Progress first started, and it was like a staff.
The Nazi staff.
Like, yeah, we don't want to go back into that territory, so I think that's why they just went with a belt that looks like a crown.
Yeah, I remember like Riptide Wrestling had medals. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah. Well, I remember FCW did that for a while. They had the, oh, God, what was the name of the guy? The Jared Briscoe 15, it was called.
Yeah.
And it
the
was
Jared
a medal.
Briscoe 15.
Yeah.
15
it was a medal.
Match.
Every match went 15 minutes, yeah.
That's super cool.
Richie Steamboat was the longest holder of it.
And Richie and Claudio Castagnoli had just the best series over that belt, over that title. Really good series. I know there was a wrestling company that their title was a door for a while. Just like a door.
That's not awkward at all.
Well, someone who's definitely opening doors through their career is Brody Hunter here, who got a shot at the Emerald Crown, and Sigma. I do what I can. And Sigma managed to defend that Emerald Crown over Brody Hunter here. Just because there was a little bit of a pre-match promo here, I will say I felt like Brody Hunter's audio was a little bit strained because it seemed like the mask just got in the way of him speaking a little bit. Whereas if you've got a mask with your mouth covered, it's like the one promo where you can really easily dub over it because they can't see your mouth not matching up with the audio. So maybe for Brody Hunter, worth just like recording the audio file separately. But if that's my only criticism, you're clearly doing something right, because Sigma and Brody Hunter absolutely beat the piss out of each other here. I thought this was a really good big man fight that happened here, with Sigma being the jerk heel who thinks he's a good guy, Brody Hunter being the aggressive, I don't care if you like me or not, easy to like babyface. I think that's such a fun dynamic, and these two just had a fight, and Sigma established that he is, willing to go to any length for the victory because that's who his character is. Alex Fireheart nailed it. He said, yes, Battle of the Comic Book looks. I think this was a lot of fun and a really good counterpoint to some of the stuff we'd seen before and a lot of the stuff we'd seen after. I think it was different in a really nice way. Todd, what did you think of this Emerald Crown match?
The match was good. I still wish he'd take the mask off, or at least have a
wrestling mask.
Yeah, a lucha mask version of it. Because if you want to be technical about that, that's a protective device. Like, you can get punched in the face with one of those, and it's not going to hurt as much as getting punched in the face normally.
Mm. And if you headbutt someone wearing that, it'll hurt differently to a regular headbutt.
Yeah. Even if he had like face paint of that same mask underneath the thing. Like, I know we've brought this up before the last time we saw him work, but it's just like, and it must be a pain in the ass for him to fucking wrestle in as well, because you wouldn't be able to breathe properly doing that. So his cardio must be just like.
I'd love to see him just do the Sting thing and have like the mask and then take the mask
and
off
then take it off.
The mask painted on.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I think. That's what I think he maybe should try, because
especially as a babyface, you get a little pop just by taking the mask off and then seeing a mask painted on your face.
Yeah. But it's honestly, for me, it's more the fact that like that feels like it's a protective device.
Yeah, totally get what you're saying.
Unless you've got a broken nose where it's part of the storyline, there's no real reason that you should be wearing it, or the referee should allow you to wear that.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Like you said, Joe, like if you headbutt someone with that, it's going to knock them out.
Yeah, it's using a weapon, really.
You'd lean into the punch because you're trying to hurt the guy's hand.
Alex Fireheart mentioning there's a reason Abyss and Kane's masks changed.
Yeah, well, see, they were leather too. That's a perfect example. Like, that's not really going to... It might dull a punch, but it's not going to hurt the other guy's hand when he punches you. So, that's an aside. Like, the match was great. I'm a massive fan of Sigma's work. He's so good now. Like, the change of 180 of character between that and his former gimmick is just amazing. And he plays it so well. Like, his comic timing in promos is perfect. The way he moves as a big man is unusual, because you don't normally see that fluidity in someone his size. And he is very, very fluid and agile as a big dude. For the size that he is and the thickness that he is, to be that agile is really good. I can see him having a very long reign with that championship, just because of how much potential I can see in him. So I enjoyed it. And Brody Hunter too, like, as being as new into his career as he is, mask aside, huge upside. Like, they've got such a good wealth of young workers in RCW ready to come through. Like, it gives a reason why someone like Chris Basso can go, I'm going to take a couple of months off. Because he doesn't have to.
Yep, absolutely. Jeff, what did you think of Sigma and Brody Hunter for the RCW Emerald Crown?
I like this a lot. I agree with Todd. Sigma's absolutely phenomenal. Really funny. Like, again, RCW have very fun heels. You know, heels like Sigma and Bitter Old Bastard and things like that. There's a sense of humor behind them, which is kind of nice. I agree. Like, first time I saw Brody, I thought, oh, that mask will be going. No, he wrestled in it. Okay, that's a bit weird. Maybe it was just because it was a 4-minute match or something. He's not going to be able to keep that on when he's wrestling longer and longer matches. So it would behoove him to find a solution. And the reason I'm saying that is because, his aim is going to be to wind up in the main events, which can go up to 4 times the amount of this match. So let's remember that. I really like that. The pace of this match, I like that it was quite even, but yet you knew that Sigma was going to walk out with the victory in all likelihood. And yeah, just great. And everything Sigma does, he makes it look so easy, which is a huge compliment.
But I feel that's how Sigma's matches should go. Sigma's matches should go that he walks in there cocky as shit because he is who he is the size he is, and somebody like gives him a bit of a challenge until he gets pissed off. Yep. And that's when he's like, right, I've had enough of this. I'm going to actually have to fucking try here.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie, what did you think of Sigma and Brody Hunter for the RCW Emerald Crown?
Yeah, I like this as well. Like Jeff said, like Sigma is incredibly funny for someone that it's almost like he's not trying to be funny. He's trying to be serious, and it just comes off funny, which is really
smug.
Good for that.
It's like smug. That's
smug for that funniness. Character, it's perfect.
He's like, I'm hilarious. No, you fucking not. Shut up. No, I really am funny.
And like, we also said that, yeah, he's a big dude, but Brody Hunter's also pretty big, and they complemented each other so well with how well they both moved around the ring. There was a razor's edge to the apron that was just absolutely sickening. That freaked me out. I was like, oh, gross, please. And then, like, just the way Sigma won, I feel like for this entire character, he's obviously watched The Boys for the Homelander inspiration. But then wrestling-wise, I feel like he's taking a lot of MJF's style of performance as well with the...
Aust Hattery?
Yeah. Smug, I'm going to just easily win it.
Nice.
But then the little sneaky cheating ways to win at the end that are just like, oh, of course that's how you win this match and keep the title. So
yeah,
really well done for both of them. Like 7 minutes, they achieved way more than they should have in 7 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Alex Firehart in the chat saying that they loved the notion of Brody Hunter seeing one of Sigma's low blows coming, but not the second one. Plus the powerbomb to end it was great with how he didn't waste any time, just threw him right down and pinned him. Kept a sense of urgency up given the time limit aspect, because there is the 15-minute time limit on the Emerald Crown matches, right? Really nice touches the whole way down. I think this was a lot of fun. Moving on then, as Todd hinted at just before, the Old Guard came out with Chris Basso to cut a promo and turn the narrative of the Old Guard a little bit, revealing that the reason the Old Guard was such bastards was that they wanted to see growth in the younger talent. They wanted opportunities for guys like Matt Hayter and Could Be the Move, and those younger guys to come up and flourish, and needed to act as a foil for them. And so, Chris Basso said that he'd be stepping away for a little while, and that he was proud of what the Old Guard had accomplished. And there was one person who had absolutely no time at all for that.
No,
and that was
remember too, because he said, and when we come back, the Old Guard will do everything with honor.
Yep. And Dean Brady did not like that one bit, and absolutely pummeled Chris Basso. Put it to the other members of the Old Guard of, did he tell you that was our reason for being? Because that's not what he told me. And had the Old Guard effectively turn against Chris Basso here. And really establish...
His brother turn against him.
Yeah, that's right. So really establishing that leadership of the Old Guard now really does seem to sit with the key to the city holder, Dean Brady. Todd, what did you think of this overall?
I like the fact that it was... He stayed true to exactly what they said the Old Guard were. At the start of the whole mission at the start of the thing was like, all these young kids are too soft. We're going to show we are the Old Guard. We're going to show you how it's supposed to be done. He's just turned that on its head for the promo to turn babyface. We did this, and we were just this because we were trying to toughen them up. And look what's happened. All of these guys have come up, and I'm so proud that they have.
Yeah, it wasn't the Cena face turn of we're just turning face for the sake of it.
Yeah, ignore everything we said. No, actually listen to what we said and just read it a different way.
Yep.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that. I like the fact that the whole... It wasn't that Matty or Grimm chokeslammed Cray. It was like Brady was like, no, let me do it. Like he could have turned on his brother. He could have pummeled his brother instead of just choking him. He's like, no, let me do it. And he was the one that put the nail in the coffin, not like Grimm. I like that. It just still looks like Grimm's the one that's in charge because he's just so much bigger than the other two.
He's so big.
He's a big
and he's
man.
just stands behind them with two hands on both He just looks like he's still like they're like his attack dogs, almost.
Yep.
I love the fact that what's her name? Please remind me.
Violet Blitz.
Violet Blitz.
Thinking she's like the omega to Brady's alpha. They're like two sides of the same coin. They just look. She looks like the female version of like Dean Brady's character, and I love that shit. I love the fact that you've just got like an attack dog of both genders that will destroy anything that's in their way. She's got this little baseball bat which she is not afraid of using at all. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that like Dean brought up, you made me turn on my sister. You made her turn on her friends. Like we did all this for this, and now you want to do this bullshit.
Yeah,
Jamie, how did you like it?
I love this. I thought it was perfectly done. Switching everyone. Like they kept Dean and Violet as hardcore heels, but the crowd by the end of this, they were right on Chris Basso's side. They were like, "We are backing this guy in no matter what." After what we've just seen, despite all of the crap that they've done over the last 6 to 12 months.
You know what it is though? It is because he is baked in to Riot City.
Yeah.
Like the Bassos are just Riot City. Like they'll boo him when they're bad guys, but as soon as they give them a hint of, hey, I like you guys, like as soon as they look at the crowd and go, hey, I like you guys again, the crowd go, oh, thank God, we've missed you so much. We're so sorry. Like that's just exactly what that Riot City crowd is like.
Yeah, that
can
return
see
when he comes back is going to be nuts.
You could see the mirror in Chris Basso's promo here with the promo that we were talking about last week in EPW with Davis Storm, where you've got someone who really is the letters on the canvas, and they come out and say that. Jeff, what did you think of the Chris Basso face turn here?
I really liked it. As you know, we're acknowledging it wasn't a Cena one. There was something genuine about it. There was something that rang true about it. The person whose work I really enjoyed in this was actually Matt's. Matt Basso looked so conflicted. And then you could see he slowly started listening to what Brady was saying, and it kind of started to sink in. And there's that interesting thing of has Chris hidden behind Matt because Matt's got such an imposing physical presence. And what's Matt going to do now? It was just wonderful. Is he going to stay the old guard, or is he slowly but surely going to,
I love the way he's like
with his brother.
Like you made me turn on my sister. You made me turn on my sister. You
as
made
with
her
all
turn on
things-
her friends. He made you team with Mr. Cliff. And that was the thing that was the thing that turned.
That was the thing that switched him. He's like, God damn it!
He's like, you made him team with Mr. You're fucking right, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was good. Look, it was really, really good.
And Alex Fireheart
And
says as well. Sorry, Jeff, go on.
I was going to say, I'm just so looking forward to seeing where this storyline takes us now. It felt like it's freshened up the old guard as well without adding a heap of people in there. And I think that that's a really smart thing to do.
Well, they literally dropped two people because they dropped Rosenthal and they've dropped like Cray.
And that's after dropping Cliff. They've basically halved the old guard, Alex Fireheart says such a justified heel way to pull that turn off, especially the whole justification being that Dean was in way too deep to turn back now and didn't want it to all be for nothing. Such an interesting shift of power. And Wild Angel backs it up, saying there's nothing better in wrestling than heels that are correct, but not right. And that's a great way to put it there, Wild Angel. And yes, speaking of turns, we've got the aftermath of a big double turn that happened at RCW 300 with the new RCW tag team champions. Could be the Move, Snacks and Vinny DeMaria, taking on the Armstrongs, Jet and Nick. This match had something that I've been complaining about recently to some friends, which is I always get a little bit frustrated when a wrestler goes under the ring and pulls out a kendo stick. Why is that kendo stick there? There is no reason to have a kendo stick down there. If a referee knows that people keep getting weapons from out under the ring, shouldn't the referee check under the ring before the match and get rid of any kendo sticks down there? Why is that there?
you've obviously never put a ring together.
Right, you do need a kendo stick to put it together.
You do. At times, yes.
That's the final piece.
This is the.
Yes.
This is the. If they're going to have a hammer, they better murder someone with the hammer moment of the.
Exactly. That's
you
exactly.
You need to calm your farm a little bit.
No, but like,
suspend your disbelief, my friend.
I get that,
hell.
but the fact that there is a backup ring bell under the ring in case there's any issues and the ring bell gets, used as a weapon and dented and you can't use it anymore, or some weird fan nicks it, we've got a backup just in case it's under there. And having Snacks and Vinny DiMaria use it in a really clever way, ringing a secondary ring bell while someone's in a sharpshooter, they just assume that the other guy tapped out and they won the match. And then that leads to a finishing sequence I really liked. I thought that was super clever.
Funny thing is, and sort of like maybe going behind the curtain, during the match with Rip, I was lying on the ground selling and Rip grabbed out the pans and threw them in the ring. But he also grabbed out a spanner. And I saw the spanner when we put the pans underneath. And I was like, oh, geez, I wonder what that's on there. He pulled the spanner and threw it in the ring. And in my head, I went, we didn't talk about a spanner. We didn't talk about a spanner.
What's he doing with that? Oh, shit.
I actually said that to someone this week. I'm like, what would be believable to be under there? The spanner that you use to turn the turnbuckle. Yeah. That's what they should be pulling out.
He grabbed it and threw it in the ring. I'm like, what is that doing there? We didn't talk about that.
Alex Fireheart says, confuse them with a spare ring bell. Could be the move. And that's what they've been doing. Pretend to be injured so you can get a cheap roll-up. Could be the move.
Yeah.
What were you going to say there, Jeff?
You've got to understand that literally everything needs to be under a wrestling ring. That's just in case it's needed. So
there should be a kitchen sink under there.
Sink? Yeah. You better believe there'll be a kitchen sink.
Pro League kept a Bobby Bishop under there just in case.
That's true.
Yeah. So
next time I'm at a show and I feel like a turkey sandwich, I should just check under the ring. But yeah, I think that this RCW tag team title match with Could Be the Move and the Armstrongs was really cleverly done. I did have a little bit of a complaint about, I felt like the hot tag from the Armstrongs near the end. It felt like there was 5 seconds of heat from Nick Armstrong, and then he got a 2 count, and then it was back to just being a wrestling match. I feel like maybe there could have been a little more in that hot tag. But overall, for the amount of stuff that was done in 10 minutes, for that to be my only complaint, this was a lot of fun. Established CBTM as a heel tag team who are going to cheat to win. Established that the Armstrongs are probably not in tag title contention anymore, but genuinely good wrestlers who are now, fan favorites for a reason. I liked what they did here. Jeff, what did you think of the tag team title match?
Quite entertaining. I did like the fact that there was some crazy shit under the ring. I also really liked the ring bell and then I just saw Coke flying in my mind's eye for a second there, and then the finish was quite fun as well. I like the way they were sold on commentary as well. You never know what the move is going to be. You never know how you're going to beat them or how they're going to beat you. And I like that commentary are clearly playing into this current version of CBTM, and you're never going to get an actively bad match with the Armstrongs in there. They've both been around the block a fair bit, and they both know exactly what they're doing. I could see one more. I think they'd probably do one more. Brody goes out there and go, oh, it's been a bit indecisive. Let's just do one more match. It might not be the next show. I think it could be held back for a few months, but yeah, really good, really enjoyable. Good.
Well, it is because the next one is the Rumble match has already been announced with Snacks, with Could Be the Move against Party Hard.
Yeah, Jamie.
Of course,
Jamie. What did you think of the
Party Hard?
Yeah, that's right. Jamie, what did you think of the RCW tag team title match with CBTM managing to defeat the Armstrongs?
Yeah, this was really fun. I love that they started with the all four in the ring just going crazy, following in from the outcome of the last one where the Armstrongs felt cheated out of the titles. And then, yeah, the fact that CBTM are kind of proving that they're a team that's playing chess, not checkers. they're always finding new moves that will sneakily get the win, which was awesome. I loved the ring bell fake out. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Todd, what did you think of this one?
The match I really enjoyed. I hate the Armstrong's new presentation. I don't think anyone should be using Enter Sandman. I think that's one of those songs that is just a song that is for one person and one person only, and that's it. And
well,
just
like that, sorry to interrupt. It was Zach Sabbath who was talking to me earlier this year and said that one of his like little pet peeves is people using licensed music for your entrance that isn't associated with you, because everyone has their own associations with that song, and makes it harder for YouTube uploads, because if there's a copyright claim, Enter Sandman is right there. Like, and there are so many musicians out there, and you can go on Fiverr and you can get a song done up that is you, or you can, there's so much Creative Commons music out there that you can contact an artist about and say, hey, can I use this? That using such a well-known song just feels crazy.
I think it worked for that brewery show, but it doesn't work for every show.
Let's be honest. Metallica have never been known to be upset about copyright issues in the past. There's no way they're going to start now.
Yeah, they hear their music played, they take a quick Napster, and it's all good.
Yeah. The match was great.
I'm just glad it was you.
Like, the Armstrongs coming out looking like fucking Deuce and Domino. Not a big fan of. Like, I was really hoping that I would hear their old original music. I really hoped that they were going to use their old music and come out with their blue tights and do the whole retro look, because I think that'd be great. But I just the leather jackets and the Enter Sandman, when you've got two of the whitest meat baby faces that walk out, just doesn't do it for me, to be honest with you. Match was great. Match is always going to be great because you've got, like, Jet and Nick are fucking professionals. And they're the perfect two people to put in there against two guys that are finding their way as heels.
Yep.
Because, like, they're an easy cheer. Like, the Armstrongs are an easy cheer. But it's,
which would be the opponent, like, hard as well.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect ones to sort of like heat up Snacks and DeMaria for like the eventual party hard feud that'll happen. But just the presentation, I'm not a massive fan of. But the match was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of great matches, the main event of RCW's Heavy as the Crown 2025 played into an interesting heel-face dynamic here. There's an ongoing story with Mickey Fortune and her turning to a more aggressive version of her character in order to establish herself at the top of the RCW card. And having her be the manager for her husband, Zach Sabbath, as he challenged Matt Hayter for the RCW Grand Championship, threw a bit of a spanner in the works in terms of how it was going to play out. Matt Hayter seems to be a babyface champion, but it was very interesting to see him with kind of a heel path to calling out a babyface opponent here. Zach Sabbath being a family man is the thing you're going to call him out for, is such a strange way to... Like, I don't know where that leaves Hayter as a character, because obviously he's loved by the crowd. I mean, the next show that RCW is doing is called Matt Hayter the Musical, right? You don't get to give a show that name unless it's a beloved character. And yet he's out here saying you're weak because you have a wife and a child. It feels a little off, but
I took it as he's trying to push, like he's almost pushing Zach into Mickey's madness. Like, what you're doing now is not working. You need to actually go and follow her. She understands where you need to be.
Which is also a Healy way to do it. And if you're going to do that right in a promo, I don't know if Matt's the right guy to do it, when like Zach could just easily face back and because mine hasn't left me. My partner isn't in another country right now. You wake up alone because
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Just by the way, there's a really important comment has just popped up in the chat, which Matty Huss has mentioned that he would pop for Eastman the musical.
No.
If it gets Todd dancing, I'll take it.
Ironically, premiering on the West End.
He written half of it.
I got moves. I could be the move.
Yeah.
Could be the move. But the resulting match between Matt Hayter and Zach Sabbath, I thought was a lot of fun. These are two guys that have established themselves in RCW consistently. You know, Zach Sabbath has been a prominent part of Riot City Wrestling for a long time. Hayter is a perennial main eventer. You've got Mickey Fortune on the outside being the X Factor, and then the great wrestling gets to be matched with, you know, fun goofiness where Matt Hayter kisses Sabbath to take the mist out of his mouth, and then Sabbath ducks it and the ref gets misted. So then Mickey Fortune kisses Zach to put her mist into his mouth so he can miss Hayter. You know, like, it's fun in a way that a Matt Hayter match leans towards, while also showing the quality of wrestling you expect from an RCW grand title match, while also having the storyline development that Mickey Fortune's current character is bringing with it. I feel like this hit on all cylinders. I really enjoyed it. And we'll talk about the chaos that ensued after this match in a little bit. But focusing on the one-on-one here between Hayter and Sabbath, I thought was a blast. Jamie, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I really like this. I like how it it gave Matt a nice, really solid first defense against someone like Zach. But it was more about progressing the Zach Mickey storyline of how do we push Zach into the madness with Mickey. And I think they did a nice job of Mickey's trying to coach him, like, this is what you need to do. He's like, I don't want to do that. I want to still be the good guy. But it fails. And then even at the end, when she goes, screw it, I'm just going to hit my finishing move on both of you. If you're not going to get out of the way, I'll just hit it on you as well. So cool. And you know Zach is a madman because he wrestled this match with such a fresh tattoo, it was still wrapped in plastic. I was like, what the
insanity.
hell are you doing?
Yeah. If you wanted to get heat, you just do a spot where you chop the tattoo.
Ooh.
Ow.
I'm an evil person.
All right, all baby faces now. If you've got tattoos, just wrap some plastic wrap around your arm because there's easy heat there.
Yeah, easy heat.
And like I was saying, I was watching this match and said to someone, it is crazy he's wrestling with it that fresh. And they said, yeah, like, surely, how often do they wrestle? And I went, oh, it is RCW, like 2 or 3 times a month. Like, there's not that many gaps. Like,
I remember when I got my first tattoo, I went and played basketball straight after it. It wasn't the smartest move in the world.
Oh. All right. Speaking of Todd,
yes,
you know, doing physical activity with a fresh tattoo, what did you think of Matt Hayter versus Zach Sabbath for the grand title?
Like, these two have worked each other so often that it was really just slipping on like a comfortable boot. Do you know what I mean? Like, they just work together so well, and they've got their spots that they know that they can do. The whole kiss spot to take the mist out and all that stuff. They've done it a few times, and it always pops. It always works really well. I think the end was a little bit janky, just because
there was a lot going on.
Yeah, but like, she hit him, and then they took ages to get up, and then it was basically took ages to get up. Zach hits him. Thing hits him with a super kick, and then just pins him straight away. Where they'd both been sort of like out for ages. It just felt that was a bit, and it took ages after he hit the super kick for him to actually cover him. It just felt a little too long. The post-match thing, I don't know. I'm still weird about, like, dudes full-on punching girls in the face.
Well, let's get to that in a second.
Yeah,
First off,
okay.
Jeff, what did you think of Matt Hayter versus Zach Sabbath for the RCW grand title?
I was highly entertained by this. I mean, there's no way you're not going to be. The 3 main protagonists in it are all such entertaining performers. I agree the ending did seem a bit sort of, the positioning seemed off, and there were a few components that didn't quite land as well.
he just took ages to pin him after he hit the super kick, is what I thought.
Yeah, you almost needed
the
super kick fall straight into the pin.
Yeah, if he'd have done that, I would not have had a problem with that finish at all. It just felt like, because I thought that was going to be a falsie. I was like, oh, okay, obviously they've got somewhere else to go with this. But then it was the 3. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay, I guess that was it. Because he took ages. That's usually like the get out of jail free card when you take ages to get the pin after you've hit your finish. Because then it's like, it's...
Yeah, he was on his back for 10 seconds, not 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's got a real reason why he could have recovered from that thing. But sorry, Jeff.
But all of that aside, thank you. All of that aside, really entertained. Really, you're not going to get a bad match with Matt Hayter and Zack Sabre. You're just not. They're both so good, and Mickey is like. I think RCW know exactly how good she is. And that's why she's got one eye on the belt. It wouldn't surprise me if she has it.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of being very sports entertained, after this match, we had the old guard come out and attack Matt Hayter. Sorry, Jeff, what's up?
Before that, though, Mickey did slap the absolute dog piss out of Zack Sabre. Let's not forget, she slapped the crap out of him. Thank you. Would not want to be on the receiving end of that.
And Sabbath went back at it. They did the Lou Thez punches, rolling back and forth with each other and really went at it. But then the old guard made their way to the ring, sans, the de facto leader now in the form of Dean Brady, and picked apart Matt Hayter a little bit before Dean Brady made his way out from the crowd with the key to the city, hoping to unlock his title match. But before that, because of course there's a Rumble show coming up, the entire locker room emptied out into the ring for a massive brawl, including, some people that we hadn't necessarily seen on that show. Chasm was there, Dr. Richard Gouda was there. It was all out chaos, which was, I guess, a little bit nullified when the big man Redshaw made his return to an RCW ring and helped clear the field to leave champion Matt Hayter and Redshaw left standing in the squared circle. Maybe a hint to who might win that Riot City Rumble and get a chance to challenge for the title. We will see. Worth noting here that one of the people that Redshaw took it to was Violet Blitz. So a couple of intergender moments happening between that and the Sabbath Mickey Fortune interaction. Alex Fireheart says, I will say, as someone who is a fan of intergender wrestling, something about an actual married couple getting into a fist fight hit very weird. Todd, let's pass to you because you were about to speak about that. What did you think of the intergender stuff that went on at the end of this show?
Yeah, I do book intergender matches. I've wrestled one. I have no real problem with them. I just think there's something really visceral about a man punching a woman in the face. I think I don't know what it is about it, but it's one of those ones that makes me sit up and go, oh. And I know they're obviously very cool with it because that's who Zach and Mickey are. The absolute lunatics. They would have loved that shit. It just hit weird. I don't know about you guys, and I could be completely old man yelling at clouds right now about it. But it was you know what? Forearms wouldn't have a problem with. Euros don't have a problem with it. It's just that I think is. I don't know. And maybe it's me. And if it is me, I apologize. Old man yelling at the cloud.
I don't necessarily think it's just you. And Alex Fireheart also mentions, not to mention that Zach had done the mounted punches on Mickey first.
Yeah.
That probably takes it a little bit over the edge.
I do also think that in large part, I think just size disparity plays into it as well. I think that, Sabbath is a tall dude, and Mickey is not a big person, right? I think there's an element of if you had two dudes with that size disparity and they were laying in punches as hard as those two were, there could be that same viscerality to it. I think that's... See, you're disagreeing, Todd. I know that, and I'm going to say it, for me, that's part of it, right? Like, when wrestlers are really laying it in, I get that same visceral sensation that it's like, oh, this feels like a real fight. And whenever that happens, the hairs on my neck stand up. And that's just, because of, exposure to those situations in real life. When you see potential danger, you respond to it. And I felt the same response here that I feel to other instances of, oh, this feels like these two are really going at it. Maddie Huss says, I've had two friends I've met around wrestling who take their kids, who are now feeling uneasy about taking their kids along due to the prevalent men on women physicality. Definitely.
Did you guys feel the same way when Jab was fighting Erica?
I don't recall them actually punching her in the face. It's that one move. That's all it is. It honestly doesn't ring a bell to me. And if it did, if she did, it wasn't something that really struck out to me.
I think
Jamie.
Yeah, I think like wrestling moves, it's fine. Yeah, maybe just the sort of knockout punch is like, ooh, bit much.
Yeah, Alex Fireheart says, but yeah, an easy way to avoid the uneasy feeling is to just avoid the punches. I've seen plenty of intergender matches where men just actively avoid either doing strikes at all or just specifically punches. There's, definitely something to that. I will say that there's some very visceral stuff that can go on in an intergender match, which I think definitely raises alarm bells for some people, where I also think just like simulated fighting in general can raise alarm bells for some people. And this is going to be a discussion where different people fall on different sides of the aisle here, one way or another, no matter how long this goes on, right?
Yeah.
I know that there are some people who are going to say it's all simulated, everything's on the table. There are some people who say, I never like seeing a man touch a woman with intent to harm, like even in a simulated environment. Those people are always going to exist on either side of that spectrum. I
also think like intergender for me should be like the 18 plus shows where it's all adults. We're all like in on the show. Yeah. It's when you have those intergender matches with little kids where they might not be 100% sure of like, is this real or not? That's when you sort of start to get into those conundrums of now the parents have to go home and have a conversation with their kids about don't go punching the girls.
Yeah. See, that's why I think it's like, that's why I think like we keep doing it. For me, it's like the punch is really the only thing that I think should be off the table. Everything else I'm kind of cool with. But just like direct strikes to the face and stuff like that, I'm just a bit, yeah.
From my, I get it, but from my perspective, and that's a different way of saying it.
Well done, mate.
My thought is, if Mickey and Zach are okay with it, who are we to criticize? Someone's got a phone near their computer. It's going a bit nutty.
I don't know.
Must be me. Apologies. I'll get rid of that.
I've been unplugging shit left, right, and center thinking it was me.
Sorry, I haven't heard it, so it must be me. My apologies, guys. But yeah.
You're right. But I think by the same token, I think it's something that because people do feel upset, it has upset people, maybe avoid it. Maybe avoid punches, use drop kicks, use slams, use other stuff, but avoid actual punching. It's probably a good idea.
I 100% see both sides of the argument.
Yeah. I personally really enjoy when you've got people who know each other very well and they know each other's capabilities and they're going to lay something in. I also think that, to address Jamie's point, I hope that any parent taking a kid to a wrestling show addresses, hey, you don't hit anyone. It's never acceptable to be hands-on with another person. right? Like this is a show. Matty Huss says the contrary perspective is that it makes for a great babyface triumph to have a woman overcome the oppressive man, as seen to great effect in Mayhem with Jab versus Erica, a promotion with lots of families and kids in the crowd, and Erica is a massive hero to those little kids. There is, I will also acknowledge the struggle you get where Mickey is clearly turning towards a more heel character, and the babyface Zach Sabbath was, finally at breaking point here. So you're actively getting, and this is something that can come into it, is if you've got a man who is cheered for attacking a woman, that can also lead to people having different feelings about it, right? Just like Todd, you're saying it's the punches specifically. It could be the heel-face dynamic that's sending certain messages to people that they don't like. There's any number of things that it could be. And it's going to be down to the individual, I think.
Yeah.
And with like the size difference, it's so easy for Zach to do anything but punch and like overpower Mickey.
Yeah, very true. Thank you, Jamie, for saying the phrase butt punch.
I was just trying to lighten it up a little bit. I felt we were getting a bit heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Big Fudge has officially entered the chat with the butt punch mention. But overall, we have looked at a really enjoyable Heavy is the Crown 2025 here. As we mentioned, it's free on YouTube. Absolutely. Check it out and have your opinion on the Zach Sabbath, Mickey Fortune conflict. Have your opinion on, what it looks like we're going to see in that Riot City Rumble. Get amongst Ben Braxton, Kit, and Red Smash too, because holy cow, what a match. Absolutely worth checking out. And keep up with Riot City Wrestling. They've got the Rumble coming up. They've got Matt Hader, the musical, coming up. There's great stuff coming up. Speaking of what's coming up, let's look at a show that is coming up on October 12th over in EPW. This is our house at Willerton Stadium. The main event is set. It's Davis Storm's last match against Don Morleone, but that is far from the only thing on that card, because the OG TMDK, Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste, are going to be taking on ATO in a tag team match. There is going to be, this one's unreal, a 6-man tag match with TMDK, Slater, Pitt, Broderick versus the other finalists in the Invitational tournament that aren't in TMDK and the EPW champion, Hartness, Fantasia, and Blackwell. A huge 6-man tag with some big implications for what's coming forward in EPW. As well as that, we've got a coastal title match where possibly, we might see Rogan Kargas defend against Matt Hader, like whoever's the champion at the time, potentially defending against Matt Hader. But then also a massive 20-person Rumble, West versus the rest. There has been one wrestler announced for that so far, and it is the son of a witch himself, the eternal Edward Dusk. Todd, what can you tell us? Do you have any information you can share about how we're going to find out who's in that 20-person Rumble?
Yeah, actually, before we do that, I just want to, on behalf of all of us here at Wrestle Red Australia, thank EPW for the support they've given us over the last week or so. The response to the review we did on their last show was really, really good. And just the way that they've embraced the fact that we want to help promote Australian wrestling and help by helping promote us as well is really, really good. I wish a lot of the promotions around the country would do that, because after all, that's all we're trying to do is promote the product as a whole, promote Australian wrestling as a whole. But I was actually contacted by EPW this week, and they've offered us, so for the next couple of weeks, starting with next week, we are going to be announcing not one but 2 entrants for the Rumble. So every week on the show, we will be exclusively letting people know the next couple of entrants from the show, one from the West, one from the rest. So, and that starts next week.
And
that's going to be
correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, but with this being the show that's at Willerton Stadium on the weekend of a big WWE show in Perth, there's going to be a lot of eyes and a lot of wrestlers around that EPW show. We should be expecting some big names in that Rumble.
I have seen the full list, and yeah, it's a murderous row of people that are going to be in that thing. So,
yeah, not surprised.
I haven't even shown you guys the list yet because I'm very kayfabe. When people say, "Hey, I'm going to show you this," don't show anyone. Sick. No one's going to see it.
Yep, that's right.
But yeah, I'm literally, and I don't even get to pick who we are going to announce. Like EPW can say, these are the two people you'll announce this week, or the person you'll announce this week. I have got the first two names, and they will be announced next Thursday night.
That's really exciting. And for anybody who is listening to the show, off air, we were begging Todd for that list, and we got absolutely blanked on that. So we're going to get to find out as well who is in that Rumble. I am very excited for it.
That's a great question.
Todd shaking his head there Matty Huss in the chat saying part of this WRA EPW collab surely means that Todd's getting a Guernsey in the Rumble match. Surely.
No, I am not a wrestler. How many times do I have to tell people this? Ask me, Brad. He knows I am not a wrestler.
Your cage page says different, mate.
Hang on.
I don't even have a cage match. I can't be a wrestler.
Something happened just on this show last week, and a match that we reviewed where you won. So
yeah, I think that's wrestling in the very loosest term of the phrase, wrestling, my friend.
Mate, I think we could still put you in. I agree. The Future Shock's available. Of course you are, mate. Of course you are. It's good seeing you. It was good seeing you on the weekend as well, by the way.
We're going to have Future Shock versus Bobby Bishop in a birth certificate on a pole match. Yeah. So they can prove who is the oldest.
The winner is younger match. That's right.
I want to put Jeff forward though. He's from the West.
Todd versus Jeff. West versus the Rest.
I wouldn't mind Lachlan being number 2, really.
Oh, after Edward Dusk gets named as number 1? Yeah, thanks.
Because Lachlan, you've always been number 2 to me.
Hey! Speaking of the number 2, it is 2-on-2 in the first match announced for the big Clash of the Titans at what was the Thornbury Theatre on October 14th. That venue has changed. It is now on at the Melbourne Pavilion. So if you're in Melbourne for the WWE show that's going to be happening in October, the night before, the Tuesday, MCW are putting on that big show. Now moved to the Melbourne Pavilion, a massive venue. And the first match announced is a biggie. We've got a team of icons with Robbie Thorpe and Lucky O'Leary taking on a team of fan favorites, the MCW champion Caveman Ugg and Jarvis, who definitely wants a piece of the icons. If you want to register for more details for that show, head to mcitywrestling.com.au/Titans so you can get all of the details of that. I'm going to be there. Especially with a match like that on the card, if that's how we're kicking off these match announcements with Jarvis and Caveman Ugg teaming up against Icons, it's going to be a special show. So make sure you're amongst that on October 14th.
I was really hoping you would read out the spelling mistake. I was trying to get you in trouble, and well done, my friend.
Purposely didn't notice that one. Managed to not Ron Burgundy yet.
You almost Ron Burgundy with the venue.
Yeah,
you almost got me there. It does
also
say.
Go on, tell him.
It says Caveman. Ugh.
I was really hoping we could get you in another situation.
Yeah. Look, after the amount of Caveman Egg I got in trouble for.
But also on the subject of MCW, we are reviewing MCW Vendetta next weekend, or next week, sorry, on the show, because it was supposed to be released this Friday night, but they went and surprised everyone and released it a couple of days early. So you can actually go to MCW's YouTube and find Vendetta there and watch it now. I don't watch it now, Watch it after this.
Wait till the end of the show.
Watch it tomorrow.
Wait till the end of the show. Yeah, but if you're listening to it on podcast, just pop it on now while you're listening to the podcast. That's cool too. You can do that.
Yeah.
I literally just saw us drop people.
Respect to Lindsay on commentary there.
So well done by Pinfall Productions for getting that out so quickly too, because that was only a couple of days.
Yeah, they got that out in like 48 hours.
Yeah. So well done for them. Like I said, we'll be reviewing that next week. So we have a massive week next week for the show. Like we're going to be reviewing MCW Vendetta. We're going to be releasing not the first two names, but our first two names for the Rumble for the EPW thing. And we also have a special international guest possibly on the show. Hasn't been recorded yet, but we're just going to throw that little teaser out there. Possibly one of the biggest guests we've ever had too.
Yeah, if all of these pieces fall into place for us, you will not want to miss us next Thursday night. Yeah. That's for sure.
Guys, I keep telling you I'm available. It's fine. I'll be here.
Yeah, I know. And we keep trying to find ways that you're not.
Yeah, I
that's
know.
Right.
Where is the link?
So that's going to be next Thursday. So if you are looking for other wrestling content between now and then, it's a good thing that there is a bunch of wrestling on this weekend around the country. If you're in New South Wales, Newcastle Pro Wrestling has Fight Night on Saturday, September 6th. If you're in Victoria, PCW has Slam featuring Evolution and Energy. Those are on Friday, September 5th and Saturday, September 6th, respectively. And over in Western Australia, EPW in Perth has Explosive Pro Wrestling's Rising Stars on Saturday, September 6th. All worth checking out. Of course, if you're here in Brisbane, just come say hi to me at the Let Live show that's on tomorrow night, because that's the closest we got to wrestling here, unfortunately. But there is going to be so much wrestling that you can watch on YouTube for free. Like we said, MCW Vendetta, now free on YouTube. But if you want one of the biggest backlogs of Aussie wrestling that there is, head on over to YouTube, type in Wrestle Radio Australia and hit the subscribe button, because our shows go up there after we are live on YouTube every Thursday night from 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, as well as right here at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia to talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. That was us covering a whole bunch of stuff that's happening in the Aussie wrestling scene. Almost 2 hours of conversation, really. Over an hour and a half just talking about the Aussie stuff. We've still got to look over at what's happened at Clash in Paris. Look at what's coming up for WrestlePalooza. Look at, what happened with Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, the current card for All Out. Talk about our chicken salad and chicken shit. There is so much more to come here at Wrestle Radio Australia on Making Chicken Salad right after this.
We won. We said we were going to win, and we did it. The party is rolling, but the job is not done yet.
I have to be honest. We wanted CBTM to win tonight because we want to be the ones that take the Riot City Wrestling Tag Team Championships away from them. And when we do, we are going to party the only way we know how, and that's hard.
I don't know how long I can do this, boys. I don't know what you boys' deal is. How can you keep failing like this? Ow. You have got to get us a win. Newsflash, boys. If you can't get a win, I can't afford you. Do you understand that? No more Katie, Trey and SWAT. No more beating up pinatas. It's all over. We need to get a win. And we need to get it soon. I love you boys. But you give me the absolute sometimes.
I really love dessert. And right now, you know what I see? The proof in the pudding. The championship belts once again wrapped around our waist. Almost a year ago, we started off this legendary tag team championship reign with a win over the Pariah. Then we won these, and now we have our first defense.
Armstrongs. The outcome was always going to be the same. Another tactical masterclass from CBTM.
Any other team can step up. But we, CBTM, will walk out with these championship belts every single time, and that
could be the move.
I base all my gear off anime.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most recent one is probably my favorite gear set is my Demon Slayer gear that I got. Cosmo Cooper's got as well, and Kai Drake. Like I kind of roped them into wearing what I want to wear.
And was that a random trainee as Nezuko as well, or was that like your daughter?
She is a trainee, but that is my daughter. Yes, MJ. Madison Eagle's daughter, if you will.
Very nice.
And yeah, we just went, you know what? Like, if I'm going to be Tanjiro, I'm going to need Nezuko. MJ, like, you're free. Like, and this is technically her debut. Like,
yep.
Yeah. So she was very keen for it. I thought she was going to be a bit nervous, but she was just like very keen for it. And she loved doing it. Yeah.
Well, I guess, yeah. With Madison as a mum and you as her dad running around as well, like to get out there on the stage was probably just as exciting for her to get that moment.
Oh yeah, I think she loved it, and more to come from her. She's still training, still putting in the reps, doing a good job.
Yeah, definite good pedigree there.
Finally. Championship golds. I just fought a war out there. I trained my ass off for 10 months, day in and day out, and I'm a boxing champion. And you know what? It's only fair that I go for some wrestling gold now, because this shoulder is feeling lonely. So how about it? September 26th, grand final leave. The aspirationalist Lockie Hendricks against Absolute Excellence Anth Kava for the Renegades of Wrestling World Championship at We Choose Violence. I choose you, Lockie. So what do you say? I'm gonna go out and celebrate. I'll be awaiting your confirmation. I'll see you soon.
I'm standing tall, I'm too insecure, so sleep deprived.
Hey Melbourne.
WrestleBrania
is back again in 2025.
WrestleBrania.
For Sunday Slam.
WrestleBrania.
At the Bergie Band Room for epic Sundays over 4 months.
WrestleBrania.
Let's get ready to Brania! Starting at 7:30 p.m. August 31st, September 28th, October 26th, November 23rd. Tickets $28.05, including booking fee through Oztix.
WrestleBrania.
A home of
Sports entertainment.
Every show will be different with new games, new guests, and maybe even a new host. Nothing is sacred, no one is safe, but it will be a fun and entertaining show. Or will it? Yes, it will. WrestleBrania Sunday Slam.
Welcome back to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show, where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. Thanks, Jeff. Over in WWE, we have a new champion, and it didn't happen at WWE's Clash in Paris. That's right. Over on SmackDown, we have a new US champion as Solo Sikoa was defeated by one Sami Zayn. You know, a man can only be an underdog if he loses some matches. This guy just continually gets that underdog treatment despite being a multi-time champion now and being able to just win a title on a random episode of SmackDown. I'll pass it to you, Todd. What do you think of Zayn as the new US champ?
Very out of the blue. Like it was like I think he only just moved to SmackDown not too many weeks ago. So, but yeah, like it's a guy that's going to be on your show. He'll defend that title on the show, and every match he has is a decent match. It's going to be a good match. So, and Sikoa can go and do whatever he's going to keep doing with Jacob, and they don't have to worry about having the title muddled
caught up in it. Yeah, absolutely. Now, there is kind of, unless anybody else wants to look in at that one, the kind of biggest upcoming news, it seems, with WWE is a return of AJ Lee. WWE is planning for her to wrestle her first match in over 10 years at WrestlePalooza. Wrestling Observer's Brian Alvarez is reporting that AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins is on the plan for the September 20th show, which will mark the first WWE premium live event to air on ESPN. The impetus for this comes from a union between Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, who helped defeat CM Punk at Clash in Paris. But the hint has been that CM Punk is going to need some help. And next Friday, Saturday in Australian time as we record this, that SmackDown's going to be in Chicago and CM Punk's going to have someone to back him up. And it seems like everything is pointing to AJ Lee, including the fact that someone who tweeted at WWEshop about their lack of AJ Lee merch got a reply saying, with a return to the ring, we'll have plenty of stuff on offer for WrestlePalooza. Jeff, are you excited to see AJ Lee come back, and what do you think of the spoiler that's potentially popped up there?
I think the whole thing's hilarious. I mean, there's something to be said for underplaying things, and they definitely haven't in this case. Imagine if AJ had just shown up at Clash in Paris, the pop would have been huge. For a company that's all about creating moments, it seems like they're dropping the ball on this one quite a bit. You don't want to telegraph something as big as this. I just feel that a surprise would have been so much better. Saying that, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm erring on the side of, we all know how much of a troll Punk is. So he could just be paying everyone away, and then his partner will be Nikki Bella.
AJ's not bad at trolling either.
No, she's very good at trolling. And, it wouldn't have taken Punk much to word up WWEshop and say, look, you're going to get a ton of tags on this. Just have some fun.
If they do that, it's Rhea in that spot, and she gets booed to him, unfortunately, right? Because like Maddie Huss says in the chat, I don't think AJ Lee could ever have imagined getting the pop she's about to get in Chicago this week. It'll be monster stuff. Alex Fireheart says, if she does come back, can we please give her new music? Her old theme never fit her character at all. Just fork out the money for Just a Girl, by no doubt. For the return, it's got to be Light It Up. It has to be.
It has to be.
That doesn't fit her character. But when that needle drops, the crowd is going to go bananas. BANANAS.
Also, to like counter your thing, Jeff, like surprises are cool, yeah. But then there is also something to be saying for like if you tune in here, we're not going to tell you she's going to be on the show, but she's going to be on the show. It's kind of like when Punk debuted on AEW. You kind of knew Punk was debuting on AEW, but they never said he was going to debut on AEW.
Yeah, this is them recreating that Punk return moment in the same building with his wife.
I will say this much. If they've got AJ Lee ice cream bars, that would be the best fucking thing ever. And that would be a massive troll of AEW to have AJ Lee ice cream bars.
And then also,
I love how
with
he came out to a house
WrestlePalooza.
show and did the skip around the ring as well the other day. Instead of his normal shuffle.
I just think he's having fun.
With the match kind of being at WrestlePalooza too, I'm not surprised that they're not trying to keep a big secret for that show. It was, the show is counter programming. So they're just going to load it up and pre-announce everything. This is why you need to watch our show and not that other show.
Yeah, well, there may be more reasons to be checking out WWE soon, as The Righteous could be heading there. Fightful Select is reporting that Vinny and Dutch have informed some promoters that they're finishing their independent dates in the coming months. The report says that according to WWE, the company has interest in them and are likely to be signed. Todd, what would you think of The Righteous getting a run in the Fed?
Well, remember, that was the rumor back in the day that they were going to be part of the Wyatt Six.
Wyatt Six.
They were originally going to be doing that, and they fit that. It will be... You know what? It'll be hard if they're doing that same sort of gimmick because it's so very Bray Wyatt-y. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. If they do.
If they're going to keep that gimmick, they almost have to be part of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, but then what do you do?
The Wyatt 8?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's because they've even got I think it's is it Universal? Their haunted tour.
The Halloween Horror Nights. Yep.
Yeah, is the Wyatt Six Halloween Horror Night, which is amazing. So I don't know. I love their gimmick, and I always have. I think they're great. I just don't know what they're going to do with them. I don't know. And I saw the Brateful 8.
Alex Fireheart in the chat putting out the Brateful 8. Very good.
But
I was going to say that if they
I could see
they
them
sell
spending time in NXT.
When Cross comes back.
Okay, Jeff. Yep.
When
AJ Lee's not coming out, but carrying crosses will work. Thanks, Jeff.
Wow.
I do like the idea that they make the Wyatt 8, and because they spelled it SICKS for 6, they have to make it the Wyatt ATE for no meaningful reason. I really think that's a funny idea. But they've got.
It also does play on the Husky Harris theme.
That's true. That's very true. But, we got to trust the writers to come up with something they have for Roman Reigns, who will be out indefinitely. Michael Cole issued a storyline medical update on Reigns during Monday's episode of Raw, stating that he suffered, quote, multiple fractured ribs at the hands of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed at Clash in Paris. The injury angle was to write Reigns off TV so he can film the Street Fighter movie, which began filming in Australia earlier this month. Reigns is playing the role of Akuma in this film. Cody Rhodes is believed to be playing Guile and has already started filming in Sydney. It's been reported that Kenny Omega turned down a role in the movie when he apparently was not offered enough creative control over a particular character and may have gone in a different direction. So we'll see what's going on there. But there's...
That's
you know,
ridiculous. It's a
Is that
movie.
legit? Is that legit, or are you just being...
That's something that got reported.
Who the fuck is Kenny
By who?
Omega?
By who?
I believe it was
Exactly by who?
Fightful. I believe it was Fightful. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I can double check that.
Yeah, I'd like
but
to know who the fuck, who does he think he is to tell a movie studio what they're gonna do?
Yeah.
But like, he's one of those guys who like, he's really in Street. Like, he is one of the guys in the Street Fighter community.
He's a Street Fighter nerd, but you don't get to tell a movie studio what to do.
Yeah, you don't get...
You shut up and you do your role.
Yeah, unless you actually got some box office like behind you, you don't get to go, hey, I'd like some creative control. You'd be like, who the fuck are you, Tyson? Shut up.
Even Dwayne got told to shut up in DC when he tried to take control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even they told him that no, get out.
Okay, never mind. The information was bunk. It was reported by Wrestling Observer. So just forget that I said it.
Ah, okay. There you go.
That makes
Okay, that debunks that.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so this quote-unquote injury happened post-match in a beatdown on Roman Reigns that happened at Clash in Paris. Let's run through what happened on that show. It opened with Roman Reigns defeating Bronson Reed, but then with the help of Bron Breakker, the Vision absolutely took out Roman in what I thought was a really nice spot where he was... after retrieving the shoes, he stood on the announce table to start signing them and handing them out to the crowd. And I would have definitely gone to pee during that if I was in the arena. But that is when Bron Breakker struck and speared him right through the announce table, leading to a beatdown with a big tsunami while he was on the board for the stretcher in the middle of the ring, which was a lovely little
match was very good.
It was fantastic.
I really enjoyed
one of the better parts of the show by far. That match was fantastic. Also on that show was the Wyatt Six defeating the Street Profits to retain their tag team championships. The WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch managing to defend that title against Nikki Bella. A good old-fashioned... No comment. A good old-fashioned Donnybrook match had Rusev defeating Sheamus.
Jamie's never appearing on this show again after that.
John Cena, in one of his final appearances, getting a win over Logan Paul, and in a World Championship Fatal 4-Way, Seth Rollins defeating Jey Uso, LA Knight, and CM Punk with the help of a hoodied Becky Lynch, who everyone knew was Becky Lynch immediately as she slid into the ring. No reason for that hoodie at all whatsoever. Jeff, did you manage
WWE
to...
love the hoodie reveal, don't they?
They do love a hoodie reveal.
The most surprising thing about it is it wasn't a Samoan underneath it.
Jeff, did you catch any of the Clash in Paris show?
Yeah, look, I watched it. Don't miss the Donnybrook match. I mean, simply put, Sheamus and Rusev just beat the ever-loving shit out of each other. The opening Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed was very good, and Cena Logan Paul was surprisingly excellent. Well, not really surprisingly, but it was really, really good. I mean, Logan Paul.
Sheamus should just have. Sheamus should just have a division called the Donnybrook division.
Yeah,
He just bangers against like other dudes like Volta and fucking and Rusev and all these
Volta
big dudes that just come in and
Bronson.
beat the shit out of each other, just like the Donnybrook division.
Yeah, I'd love it.
They do Bloodsport, then Donnybrooks, then WWE. It's like a continuum.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, it was an entertaining enough show. She's like Becky Lynch's worst match ever. If you want to see it for the curiosity of watching Becky Lynch in an objectively bad match.
But we talked about that last week, didn't we? I think I even said, we're going to I hope she's got her working boots on because she's going to need them.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's a bad thing she had to be involved in another match later, so she had her attention split.
Have you guys seen the there's like a vignette from Montez Ford, the Street Profits one after this match?
No.
there's like a vignette, and it's very much, it's almost like he's doing the Bailey thing, but as him, a dude. Like, try and find it on like X or Insta, but it's like him looking in the mirror, and the mirror is like almost like an evil part, like version of him, telling him like to go back to the red cups, to go back to what you were originally, because this shit's not working.
Interesting, especially because what they're playing on is the idea that, you know, can that team hang together with the potential for, you know, a breakout in Montez Ford.
Yeah, they even dropped the thing like, you were with the Almighty, that didn't work. You were with this, that didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, all that part was in the promo. Like, try and search it out and find it, because I saw it the other night.
That's
I'm like,
very cool.
I was like, that's a really good promo if Bailey wasn't kind of doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Especially
Bailey
because...
even commented underneath it. Like, you all right, bro? I think that's what she commented.
Especially because, like, on Clash in Paris, they had the Street Profits doing the Borderlands promotion spot and coming out in the Psycho masks from Borderlands with the Borderlands font everywhere and doing the cell-shaded pants, which, like, I think is a cool look. But, like, you know, it takes away from who they are.
Yeah. Not for the Street Profits.
Yeah. I think that's
you
like
thought
that's
it
the kiss
almost
of
would have
death in
fit the
WWE.
six, but
Like, if you get the video game promotion for your entrance, you're losing.
Yeah. Sorry, War Raiders. Jeff, did you have something to add there, mate?
I was going to say, I don't know about you boys, but the Wyatt Six, like, they're just not working. They're just, it just doesn't work. I don't know about you boys, but I just feel cold. They don't do anything for me. It's a bit of a shame.
I don't necessarily disagree, but to leave that show on a positive note, I will say that stage, that set, is one of my favorite physical presentations that WWE have put together in a long time. Like having the screens with the Van Gogh-inspired, like, Starry Night theme, and then putting a big Eiffel Tower-shaped screen in the middle. Mwah, perfection. Reminded me of, like, the old days of show-specific sets. I want more of that. It looked fantastic. And,
I would like to nitpick the logo for that show, though.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Like, why did we have the Eiffel Tower in it, but the Eiffel Tower wasn't the A in Clash?
Yeah.
Because it looked
was
almost...
just like,
or Paris.
It was in the sea. I'm like...
You've got two A's there. You've got Clash and Paris.
Yeah.
You could have done either.
You could have just had it as one big thing, as the Eiffel Tower is the A for both.
Is it... Because did the logo, like, look a little bit like... What was the Dublin show? Like, it reminded me of that, like, just... Was that Clash at the Castle? So is it a Clash logo that they have adapted?
Yeah, and then they just chuck in, like, a random icon for the city.
Yeah, they just stick it in the middle of the sea. Okay. Matty Huss says that set is up there with the Backlash hooks and SmackDown fist as a goated set. Yeah, absolutely. I loved that in particular. I can't
Hopefully we get
imagine...
something unique in Perth.
That'd be nice. I don't know what Perth has.
It's just Bob Catter yelling at people.
That's someone
just
needs
a giant Davis Storm.
That'd be great. I would love the promo of two people are getting amongst it, and one of them says, "I've punched people in the face for less."
Yeah.
I can't imagine we're getting a big set like that though for WWE WrestlePalooza.
Actually, I want Jade Cargill. I want Jade Cargill to come out, accompanied by Davis Storm. Like the Storm is coming, and then he walks out with her. Oh, they were right. The Storm did come.
Carnival plays. I don't know. I'm all for it. WrestlePalooza is going to have a John Cena match. We'll all be
Black
shocked
Swan. Good call,
Nathan Hamlin.
That'd be cool.
Killing it, mate. We needed a local here to tell us the answer.
That's
the Black
a good call.
Swan. WrestlePalooza is going to have a John Cena match. I think we'll all be shocked if that's not against giant baby Brock Lesnar. There's also going to be a match for the vacant Women's World Championship, which is going to be held between Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky, which put money down on that being a banger. There's going to be...
Put money down on Asuka ruining it somehow.
Well, There's a couple of rumored matches as well that we'll talk about. Those are WWE Championship match with Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, a match between The Vision, Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed versus the Usos after a save was made there on Clash in Paris by Jey Uso, and it seems like the Usos potentially reforming, as well as that rumored match we talked about before with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch going up against the team of CM Punk and a returning AJ Lee.
No, it'll be a returning Karrion Kross in a dress. Keep going.
CM Punk versus it's they're just putting Scarlett in. They've rehired Scarlett, but not Kross.
That'd be amazing trolling, wouldn't it? That'd just be...
If those rumored matches are true, that's a 5-match card. That's, only one less match than what we saw at Clash in Paris for a TV show. That's probably a full card. Is there anything we're shocked isn't on there other than like the announcement of Brock Lesnar yet? Because I would think NBC would want to promote that.
Yeah, well, I reckon that'll happen on SmackDown. That'll happen on SmackDown this week, I reckon.
Yeah. But there's no longer, and Wild Angel puts it right, that'll teach Karrion to be a good soldier. Over on the other side, it's no longer going to be WrestlePalooza head-to-head with AEW. Per Fightful, AEW All Out has been rescheduled to 3 p.m. Eastern Time, moving up from its original 8 p.m. Eastern Time slot. This change comes after the event was initially scheduled to go head-to-head with WrestlePalooza. What do we think of...
It'll be about halfway done before...
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There'll still be overlap.
Yeah, with the pre-show starting at 4 a.m. That's, it is what it is. I think it's interesting that we're seeing counter-programming and then moving to avoid counter-programming. And, that's...
It's kind of a shitty deal to change it 2 or 3 weeks out, though, because I've heard of people they were flying in Saturday morning, and now it's like, oh, we're going to be cutting it real fine to get to the show.
Oh, yeah.
5 hours is a hell of a move.
Yeah.
That's a big...
it's not...
If you were flying in at 1 o'clock to check in at your hotel at 2, you're now looking at like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
If my hotel's not right next door to the venue, I'm in big trouble here.
In terms of
time...
do
an online check-in.
In terms of time, that move is massive. In terms of term. Yeah, that is a massive shift. But to go on the other side and talk about something that isn't massive, Riho has returned to AEW and will be feuding with Mercedes Moné going into a match at All Out. Jamie, are you particularly excited to see Riho back in an AEW ring?
I like Riho. It seems like a random place to toss her in there, but Riho is the WWE ratings killer.
She saved.
Maybe that's why.
She saved like Alex Windsor this week.
Yep.
Which seems very opposite to what...
Yeah, counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
It
feels like Alex Windsor should be saving Riho.
Which, by the way, I'm not a massive fan of Mercedes Moné matches. Doesn't really do it for me. Her and Windsor today had a really good match on Dynamite.
Yeah, it was good. It was real good.
Well, hopefully she'll be able to have that quality of match with Riho at All Out, which will be the first pay-per-view available on HBO Max for AEW, and it's on discount for only $39.99 USD. The show's also, as we said, been moved forward on that platform as well. So if you're in the US and you've got that HBO Max subscription and also $40, you can watch the show.
Yeah, I looked at it and was like, oh, maybe I'll get a VPN and get it on HBO Max. And then I went, oh no, it's still just cheaper to buy it on Triller.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's still $10 cheaper to buy it on Triller.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about the cheapest option for streaming, it's free on YouTube, baby. That's right, take a drink, Matty Huss, because Tony Khan announced that due to streaming issues with service provider Brightcove, he chose to stream Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor event live for free on YouTube. Quote, due to issues with service provider Brightcove, who haven't yet given a time frame for stream repair, I've put hashtag ROHDBD streaming free on the ROH YouTube live now at the time. For this inconvenience, stream issue. I'm sorry.
I'm just looking on Triller now. It's not even up to be purchased yet.
No, it's not. It's the same deal as the last few, where it's like the week of it pops.
Fuck, that's dumb.
It's annoying.
Tony Khan went on to say, for this inconvenience of tonight's stream issue, we'll offer a free 1-month credit to all current Ring of Honor subscribers, he wrote. So that's interesting, but I mean, the big takeaway is free death before dishonor, right, Jeff?
Both of them are very, very happy.
Do you know what? I was very close to being extremely pissed off because I nearly bought that pay-per-view. I nearly bought it.
I wasn't watching until I saw Tony's tweet, and I was like, okay, I'm putting it on.
Yeah, there you go.
Same.
Let's talk about some highlights from that show then. The Shane Taylor Promotions trio of Taylor, Sean Dean, and Carly Bravo defeated the team of Sammy Guevara, Ross Von Erich, and Marshall Von Erich to win the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles on Friday night's Death Before Dishonor event. As well as that, Guevara took the place of an injured Dustin Rhodes in defending the 6-man belts on Friday's show. He pulled double duty as he also defended the Ring of Honor tag team titles on the program. Guevara and Rhodes had held the Ring of Honor tag team titles, but Guevara chose Roosh as a replacement for his injured partner in a defense against the Outrunners. Guevara turned heel on the Von Erichs in the aftermath of the tag title defense, aligning with Roosh's LFI stable. I love a bit of Roosh. I'm never going to complain about seeing Roosh. Macho Man Andy Savage in the chat saying that Bandito versus Hechicero was phenomenal. A top 10 match of this year for sure. In other title belts on the show, Athena retained the women's world title over Mina Shirakawa. Lee Moriarty retained the pure championship over Zelhua. And as mentioned just there, Bandito retained the world title over Hechicero. So all massive stuff there.
I kind of think the Athena thing has just jumped the shark now.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
I think they got into that awkward position of this weekend she hits 1,000 days. So they were kind of in that spot of like, oh, we're this close now.
But the right move was Billy Stark.
Billy Starks.
Yeah,
that was the right move. Ages ago. That was the right move. And they blew it. The Guevara choosing Roosh and that was like Jamie and I were messaging each other during it. We're like, well, this is random and no explanation for it whatsoever. Like, because you would think, right, big mystery tag team partner, Sammy would grab the mic and say, my tag team partner is... No. He just gets in the ring, walks around, didn't even have the belts with him. The belts were already in the hands of the ref. And then Roosh was announced as his partner. No... Like they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know, and all of a sudden, just like that, Sammy started acting like a heel.
Yep.
No gradual change. No.
In the pre-show and everything, he was essentially teasing that it was going to be Jericho, and then it was Roosh. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Where's the connection here? There's no connection between these two."
It was just I think I messaged Kate, and I've just gone watching ROH just makes me mad at times.
Mm-hmm.
Just get mad. You got so much here. How are you messing this up?
Yeah, I almost feel like they should have just pulled the triggers on the Outrunners. Like it feels like now was the time to put the titles on them and then have them be the front runners of the ROH tag division.
They could have done it with the AEW ones and they didn't do it. So why would it be any different with Ring of Honor?
Yep, not wrong.
The world title matches, Athena and Mina was awesome, but like Macho Man Andy Savage said, Bandito and Hechicero is absolutely brilliant. Like, if you're going to watch any match on that show, that's the one to watch.
Yeah. I really enjoyed a worse match on that card, which I thought was great. I'll talk about that later. We've got a current set of matches for AEW All Out, which is going to be on Saturday, September 20th. So in about 2 weeks-ish, that's going to have Adam Copeland and Christian Cage taking on FTR, the team of Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. We've got the TBS champion Mercedes Moné defending against Riho. We've got the Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, and Bobby Lashley taking on Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, Bishop Korn and Torleona, and probably 9 or 10 more matches to be announced. So, it's only 3 weeks away, so we've got plenty of time to announce another 16 pre-show matches and all of the rest to go there for All Out, which is, a big show of the year. But
heavily teasing Okada and Takeshita as well today.
Yeah.
Which will be exciting, and that's... we were saying, like, between us before the show that AEW shows are always great. It's just the build that can sometimes, take a minute to get there. It's the TV leading up to the shows can be a little bit lackluster, and then all of a sudden you get a show full of really incredible wrestling. And we love talking about really incredible wrestling. We named the show Making Chicken Salad because we talk about when we see things that we love, but in order to get there, sometimes we've got to go through some shit. So with our chicken shit tonight, Jamie, would you like to kick us off? What's made you unhappy in the world of wrestling this week?
Just Matt Riddle in general. Just his the first thing that really riled me up was his no-show to a charity event in the UK, which is kind of a shitty move. And then today he was on a podcast talking about AJ Lee, and I was like, okay, yeah, you're a dirtbag. Like, screw you for saying the things that he said about her. And yeah, Matt Riddle, just shut up, please.
Yeah, absolutely. But Jamie, bro, they booked him for a Saturday show, but had him fly on the Thursday, bro.
Yeah,
Jeff,
you're flying to the UK, you dingbat.
Jeff, what was your chicken shit this week?
Look, it was there was some footage of Rhea Ripley who was just walking around in France, going to her rental car or whatever. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm talking about right now. Matty Huss is agreeing with me. And she was absolutely swarmed by a bunch of fans, people, some of whom were sniffing her, some of whom were really close, taking selfies. Like, realize she's not public property. She is a human being. You can what you get from Rhea Ripley is what you get from the moment she walks through the curtain to the moment she walks back through the curtain. Anything else is a bonus. If she had stopped for 30 seconds, she could have been at risk. There are so many health issues relating to this. And these people are like we're going to have a whole bunch of wrestlers coming to these shows in the next 12 months. Firstly with WWE in October and then with AEW in Feb next year. Look, if you see these people out and about, just, remember there's human beings involved in this as well. Like, the person behind Rhea Ripley, she's really sweet, and it's probably not the nicest thing that those French people did. And I'd hate for Australia to have that same reputation.
Absolutely.
There was another incident, too, with Sheamus where a young girl was almost trampled by the crowd trying to shove in to get autographs and photos with him.
It's
simmer down, people.
Matty Huss says that his chicken shit is the, quote, fans swarming Rhea Ripley, and I put fans in quotation marks because real fans wouldn't be so disrespectful and invasive like that. Wild Angels chicken shit I fully agree with, which is the announcement of Logan Pierce taking a break from wrestling due to injury. Get well soon. Seems like brother can't catch a break. Especially spinal. That's rough stuff for a dude who is at the top of his game right now. Is that you finding out there, Todd?
Yeah, it was me finding out.
Oof, yeah. Vertebral issues. So, oofa doofa. And
it sucks too when he was just like getting momentum in PWL. It was like,
he's not one of my tag team champions or anything. It's fine.
And Macho Man Andy Savage saying, I know this is super selfish, but MCW moving Tuesday Night Titans left me flatter than roadkill. I know the company is growing, but I can walk to Thornbury Theatre. I'm just disappointed it's moving away from good lasagna. That was going to be the thing I was excited
Well, now you can walk from your Uber.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Todd, have you got some chicken shit for us?
I got two, actually.
We can have lasagna anyway and then we'll drive there. It's fine.
I hope it shuts down before it happens.
Your turn.
Yeah, I said that. I got two. One is like Ring of Honor had their Death Before Dishonor this weekend. Wasn't really promoted at all on AEW television, at all. And not only that, they had I've just completely blanked on his name, a Golden Globe winner.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Paul Walter Hauser, thank you. Wrestled on that show. Had a match. Had a death match, I think, on that show.
Had a really good match.
And it was a decent match, wasn't it? Yeah. Why the fuck wouldn't you promote that? Why wouldn't you go, hey, we've got a Golden Globe winner having a wrestling match on our show?
Yeah, like that's the thing WWE does so well with their celebrity tie-ins, like the Jelly Roll and stuff. They got on big mainstream TV shows promoting that stuff.
Well, it's
Paul
like
Walter
they had
Hauser
him
just did nothing.
No, they had him commentate on I think it was a Collision a couple of weeks ago. No one knew about it. The only way you would have known about it is you watched Collision and went, okay, he's commentating on the show.
And he was good in the commentary role too.
Yeah, because he knows
actually
wrestling.
knows
He's a
his
wrestling
stuff.
fan. Yeah.
And brother was in Fantastic Four, like the biggest movie in the world right now.
Yeah, he was in one of them. Yeah, I don't get what they're doing. How do you not promote that? It's an easy promote.
Yeah, it's so obvious that ROH is like an afterthought.
Yeah, it's just then that was what made me. I think that's what made me message Kate to say Ring of Honor makes me mad to watch at times. Because you've got this guy busting his ass for you.
It reeks of what WCW used to do with their celebrity involvement as well. And, the very fact that country music radio stations were picking up the West Texas rednecks singing rap is crap. And I read an interview with Hennig, and he was saying, if this was WWE, it would be every week. But because it's WCW, they're almost trying to disown it. They're almost trying to take the shine off it. Because we're not supposed to be popular. We're supposed to be heels. Just to answer a couple of comments, 1-800-Lasagna is still open. It was falsely reported that it has closed. I did my research this afternoon. It has not closed. It is still open. Their social media said there were a couple of people who took things the wrong way. They are in administration, but it's currently being sorted.
Health board? Yeah, I need you to do a check quickly.
Okay.
Was that just Jeff basically saying, I had lasagna for dinner?
It's a roundabout way. Or afterwards he's like, I have to go now. I suddenly really want lasagna.
I had it on Saturday before.
Alex Fireheart's
Saturday
chicken
before
shit.
MCW.
Okay, let's get back to the wrestling and off the lasagna because I'm getting hungry. Alex Fireheart's chicken shit is Daisuke Sasaki unfortunately getting injured day one of DDT's Wrestle Peter Pan. The silver lining is that the other wrestlers tried covering for him as best they could, and when it was clear he was done, they did a quick pin to end the match. So a bit of shit, a bit of salad in that respect. We love a shit salad here at Wrestle Radio Australia.
Sorry, my other chicken shit is, and I'm genuinely curious to know this from if other wrestling promoters want to message me and tell me why you do or you don't do this. Why, if you put your product up on YouTube, like MCW, we'll take MCW as an example because it's the thing that's really brought this to fore. Like they advertised, hey, we're going to premiere Vendetta on Friday the 4th on YouTube. Tune in to watch it. Cool. That's like a call to act. That's what you call a call to action. Like you are taking people to your channel on this specific day and time. Then they released it 4 days early. No real fanfare. Just here it is. It's up now. Go and check it out. I don't know why more promotions don't make a whole thing of after the shows happen and you've got your tickets sold and the people have come and gone. The next Monday you go, hey, on the next Friday, this show will be up on YouTube. So if you missed out, go and check it out on YouTube. Make an event of it. Get almost like a double shot for your money. Because you've got the people that have come to see the show, but then the week after, you've got them all coming to your YouTube. And if you've monetized your YouTube, you're going to make a couple of dollars out of that. I don't understand why more promotions don't do that.
And with the algorithm too, if you premiere it, and there's a lot of people clicking on it as it's premiering, it's then going to get pushed out to more people after that. So you almost get a triple whammy.
Yeah. That's why PWA do so well with their live streams.
Yeah. Because, people tune in to watch it live, and then the feed goes, ooh, a lot of people wanted to watch that and watched it. Let's give it to all the people on demand afterwards and push it out to them as well.
Yeah.
So it's
anyone
just very weird.
Anyone who already has wrestling in their algorithm, we're going to throw this into it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Macho Man Andy Savage saying YouTube literally has a chat feature. You can build excitement and community. It's never ever made sense.
Just shadow quickly, dropping doesn't work.
Yeah. Going to go through my chicken shit real quick. It was that Nikki Bella Becky Lynch match where Nikki Bella just could not hold up her end of the bargain, unfortunately. And it sucks to see someone clearly want to be there and not operate at the level that they put her in at. I think that Nikki is somebody who gets unfairly maligned a lot because of the period that she was wrestling in, and because, you know, she tried to be better than WWE wanted from what they hired her for. And I think that that is worth celebrating, and the fact that she's out here having pretty atrocious matches in Paris is not going to help that going forward. So that's a little bit disappointing. You know,
is there a bit of like overinflated ego too, because of the period that she was wrestling? She wasn't horrible.
She was one of the better wrestlers for sure.
Yeah, but now everyone has gone far beyond that, and she's kind of still back here. So there's a bit of that overinflated ego of like, I was one of the best people on the roster at the time. I can still do it, and so not anymore.
Yeah, it's like you were the smartest reader in the remedial class. Well done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Lita. She very quickly realized that she wasn't keeping up with current wrestlers, so she moved on pretty quick. Full credit to Lita for reading the room well enough to go, no, I can't do this.
But Lita and Trish were really good workers. They just didn't have anyone to work with. Unless it was like a Jazz or a Victoria. They really, or a Ivory. Yeah. They didn't really have anyone to work with.
Mickey.
Or Mickey. Well, Mickey was sort of like after them. Yeah.
Yeah, in later years.
Yeah.
But again, like during the Attitude Era, there was the potential for them to go out and do ridiculous stuff because it was outrageous, and that was the Attitude Era like vibe. So they could, you know, kind of do that
hide stuff.
And you could.
But I mean, even like you put someone like
with Extreme.
Yeah, you put someone like fucking Mina Shirakawa back in the day. She is not going to have a good match against Kelly Kelly.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you know, that is what it is. So it's really unfortunate. And that is the bit that makes it sting more, is I think that her legacy deserves better. Alex Fireheart says Nikki was at least not as bad as Brie, quote, got out wrestled by Stephanie McMahon of all people, Bella.
Yeah, there was a time though where I thought Brie was trying harder because of who her husband was, and he was training her.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nikki hit this certain level where she's like, I'm good enough now. I don't really have to worry about that. Whereas Brie, I think Brian was constantly like, come on, I'll help you out. Come and train with me.
Matty Huss saying that Molly Holly, Jazz Lita, Jacqueline, Trish, and Ivory was a very low-key, great little era. Go on, Jamie.
Can I ask Lachlan, how are you going to feel when the Bellas win the women's tag titles?
I knew that question was coming. See, I can feel it in the air. There's something, and I'm worried about it.
That feels like match 6 for the WrestlePalooza card.
God, don't tell me. Terrible time. I need something to wash the taste out of my mouth, so let's talk chicken salad briefly. Jamie, you got something positive from this week?
So mine goes back to Rhea Ripley and her diss on Drake this week, where he...
I didn't see her clap back. What did she say?
He was on a podcast.
Look at the eyes.
Oh, Rhea's all over my Instagram feed. She's my muse. And she turned around and just went, no. I'm Team Kendrick all the way.
Yeah.
None of that business.
Shit.
Oh, that's Rhea, the woman that you are. Jeff, chicken salad, mate.
I've got a couple. Firstly, obviously, that Ben Braxton match.
If you take mine, I swear to God.
Can I just fucking talk?
No, but you said a couple, and a couple for you means 17.
No, I've got 2. So firstly, Ben Braxton, Kit and Red Smash 2. Make sure you see that match. It is brilliant. All 3 of us have agreed with that. Actually, it's 3. Catching up with a few people on Saturday, seeing the great JT was lovely, and catching up with some wrestlers that I hadn't seen for a bit of time is always nice. And the very idea that in 2 weeks we're going to get to see Stephanie Vaquer go up against Io Shirai is so fucking good. Like, that just thrills me so much. I don't care what else happens. Give them 15 minutes and make it amazing, because it will be. Very happy about that.
Todd, chicken salad.
Okay, my chicken salad is so dumb, but it popped me so much. I don't know if you saw NXT this week.
Is it the Joe Hendry bit?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a point in the match where Dark State are beating down on one of the
Hank and Tank boys.
And the guy grabs him and they'd just taken out all their partners. Obafemi had fought back to the back with Ricky Starks, so it was like 2 of them against 4. The Deep State guy has literally grabbed him by the head and went, "Everyone's left you. You've got nobody. What are you going to do? There's no one to help you." And he just goes, "Joe Hendry!" And the music just hits. And then, like, the camera pans around and he's standing ringside with this big smile on his face, like, which was enough to distract him that Hank and Tank could get on top and win the match. So dumb, but sometimes the dumbest shit is great.
Like, using the logic of the wrestling universe that you're in to your advantage. Like,
well, how many times have we been saying it? Like, people keep saying his name, but he doesn't appear. When's he actually going to say his name? The fact that they actually did it, they listened and went, "You know what? That would actually be pretty fucking funny if we just had someone yell out Joe Hendry and the music hits straight away." Popped me huge when I saw it.
Absolutely. Matty Huss says chicken salad AEW looks so good in the 2300 arena. It's giving classic bingo hall energy with a modern polish. Total vibe. Macho Man Andy Savage says MCW at Thornbury is such a vibe. There's nothing like it in sport, entertainment, or even wrestling in Australia. Everything is so good and professional, and the crowd is so knowledgeable and determined to positively impact every show. Vendetta was incredible. Alex Fireheart's chicken salad says Higuchi and Uenu's main event title match from Wrestle Peter Pan Day 2 was great, and those two normally don't gel well in matches that go around 20 minutes. I wish Higuchi had retained, but comedy wrestler Kazuki Hirata cashing in his Money in the Bank style title shot to win the title was a nice bit of schadenfreude. And Wild Angel says, say his name and chicken salad appears. My chicken salad is an alternate perspective on Todd's chicken shit, which is the Death Before Dishonor, Fight Without Honor of Paul Walter Hauser. Talk about a guy who is doing this for the absolute love of the game. Paul Walter Hauser does not need to be going through tables covered in broken glass, but that man wants to professionally wrestle, so god damn it, he's gonna do it. He's gonna get in there and look, say what you will about QT Marshall, right? The dude knows how to, like, he wrestled the Costco guys, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Shout out to that fucking guy. If there's an MVP for, like, AEW, the guy that said, "I'll take the bullet," it's fucking that dude.
Yeah, he always does it. He always gets a way better match than you're expecting out of it. And Paul Walter Hauser absolutely just, like, I think it was, I can't remember what show, but he was getting... might have been on this one. I've watched a few of his matches recently. Him getting "You're a Wrestler" chance is so cool because that dude, like we said, he was Mole Man in Fantastic Four. He's made his payday. He's won a Golden Globe. So he's got the accolades in his actual career. He does not need to do professional wrestling. He is not doing it to hype a project that he's in. He's not doing it because WWE is giving him a huge payday to, put butts in seats. Clearly, because they're not using him to put butts in seats, which is insane. But he is out here wrestling a fight without honor on Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah, he gigged.
Brother gigged. Like,
you're a Golden Globe winner. You don't need to go and gig yourself. What are you doing?
It's incredible to me that this dude clearly absolutely loves this industry and wants to share that love and put his body on the line and do the thing that he loves watching people do. And what a shout.
Just on that, did you see the QTV promo that they did?
No, I didn't.
They did like a QTV promo, and they tried to do it like the old ones. And if, like, what's his name was there? What's his name? Solo.
Aaron Solo.
Aaron Solo.
Yeah, Aaron Solo was there, and then they cut to like Harley Cameron was just there. She's like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here anymore. I think I'm pretty sure this thing ended ages ago.
And like the fact that you've got a match where like Hook shows up to even the odds, and the star of the match is Paul Walter Hauser doing everything that he absolutely can.
When did Hook become New Jack?
For real. Like, oof. Yeah, suplexing Solo through the table to like, you know, get the submission in and take Solo out of it. What a fun match that Paul Walter Hauser went absolutely above and beyond for. And Alex Fireheart says, additional salad goes without saying given what was said during the review, but definitely looking forward to what happens with the old guard in RCW moving forward. And to give a little bit of...
Just on the QT Marshall thing, like you've really got to give him props. Like he's on the marquee, he's probably not selling that many tickets when it's QT Marshall versus celebrity number 2.
Yeah.
But at least you know it's not going to suck.
No, and he works a crowd. He gets those boos. He gets the heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not Cena versus Jelly Roll or something like that, where it's, that'll sell some tickets. But at least QT Marshall and whoever will be solid. It'll be a good pre-show match.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And look, sometimes we do have to, you know, take the opportunity where the chicken salad is to, you know, celebrate the stuff that we're doing. Like the fact that we're going to be announcing some of the people that are in the EPW Rumble at This Is Our House starting next week with 2 names revealed. You know, like we said, Edward Dusk is name number 1. We've got the next 2 names exclusively here on Wrestle Radio Australia next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia. Todd's got the info. And then on top of that, you know, like potentially keep an eye out next week for someone that might be popping up on the channel. I will say, like, if you got me to make a list of my dream guests, top 10 easy. So fingers crossed.
It was one of those ones that when I got the email, I sent it to Lachlan with just the thing, are you ready to have a nervous breakdown?
Yeah.
Because I remember how nervous he was when he interviewed Darby Allin.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that really pissed me off when Todd said, look what the email I got. It was my email.
So keep eyes open for that. And the best way to do it is to subscribe to us here at Wrestle Radio Australia. We're at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia, where you can hit subscribe. You can also do it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, wherever you get your podcasts. It's free. Thank you for the nightmare wrenching Loxcalibur image there as I go. If you're on Apple Podcasts, if you can give us a rating and a review, 5 stars really helps us get into more ears. You can also get some merch. You go to Redbubble, search for Wrestle Radio Australia. The proceeds there go to Gotcha for Life and Beyond Blue, 2 awesome charities that support mental health here in Australia. And if you're looking for merch of wrestlers, specifically your favorite Queensland wrestlers, though more and more wrestlers from around Australia, I encourage you to go to kickout.com.au because they've got great merch that they do there with the proceeds going to the wrestlers there. And if you're a wrestler who wants your merch up on Kickout, message Kickout on their Instagram page. But to buy that merch, you can go to kickout.com.au. Meanwhile, you can follow us on social media. We're at Wrestle Radio AU on Twitter and Instagram. We're Wrestle Radio Australia on Facebook. You can follow me at Lachlan Albert. You can follow Todd at Beast Eastman. You can follow Jamie at Jamie Apps Media. And you can follow Jeff at Wrestle_Brainia for all the goings on with WrestleBrainia and their current season. Jeff, you're in the midst of WrestleBrainia. Tell us what's coming.
What's coming up is the day after the AFL Grand Final, which is the 28th of September. It's just 4 weeks away. We're going to be back with another show. We have another show as part of our season. Here's a hint. I won't be hosting. I'll be sitting on a panel. For the first time in a lot of years, I'll be part of a WrestleBrainia panel, and I cannot wait. It's going to be such fun. You don't want to miss this. We'll start announcing guests really, really, really soon.
Jamie, have you got any Pario magazine or Wrestle I just totally lost the words there. Australian wrestling cards, Oz wrestling cards, news, Pario magazine, Oz wrestling cards. The things you do.
Shamed.
Pre-sales for the new issue of Pario magazine featuring Damian Slater on the cover is available now on Patreon. And on the Oz Wrestling Card side, the October release is now up for pre-sale, featuring Chadwick Jackson, Mitch McCarthy, and Rita Stone as the headline 3 for that pack. So I'm excited for that pack.
I got to get a McCarthy card. I've got to get that pack. All right. Anything else that we need to mention before we go home tonight, guys?
No, just remember next week, MCW Vendetta review. We announced our first 2 entrants into the Rumble, West versus the rest, for the EPW This Is Our House show. And hopefully, fingers crossed, because every time we do stuff like that, it kind of falls through. But fingers crossed this works out, and it should work out.
Touch the wood, guys.
In the past.
Touch wood.
Has worked out in the past. Are really, really good. We'll get at least a snippet of... Big shoe. We'll get a snippet at least of the interview up here on Thursday night, and you'll get the whole thing a couple of days after. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. So very excited for next week's show already.
Maddie Huss in the chat saying, Jamie, plug your stuff in Hive. Some really great interviews you're doing there.
Yeah.
So him, plug his shit, and he never does.
I always forget.
Yeah, see, you do that. The only reason there was an ad in the thing is because I keep the part of the interview in the ad. Yeah, I kept saying to him, will you give me your stuff so I can advertise it, please?
So the Hive stuff, I'm doing a show called The Buzz with just short, sharp, 1-2 minute interview clips each day. This week is a musician from Brisbane, Chloe Styler. Next week, we've got the festival director of the Sydney Underground Film Festival. And then the week after, I interviewed a magician who absolutely breaks my brain. Does the trick on camera, and I melted down. I didn't know what to do.
That's phenomenal. So absolutely check that out in between all of the Aussie wrestling. That is definitely worth checking out. And,
well, you do a watch-along too, don't you?
True. Yes, we've just started doing Dynamite watch-alongs. So I've been sitting in this chair for 5 hours, 6 hours today. I'm tired. And I saw 2 movies this week in Sydney.
Oh, such a
all right. For Jamie's benefit, we've got to end this podcast then, guys. So on behalf of Jamie Apps and Jeff Setti and Todd Eastman, I've been Lachlan Albert. Till next time, have a good one.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there